Can you hear me now? Did it do it? I forgot to unmute my microphone, I think. I'll start over. So, I am going to have Alex Falconi from our Nevada Judges. He'll be joining us in about 15-20 minutes. And Irish Demon will also be here. As I was saying, he had to go to the other side of Ireland, the country, to get some car parts to his dad's van. Oh, but we have Alex. Let's see here. Hello.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes. Okay, I forgot to unmute my microphone when I started.
Okay. There we go. I just put in some headphones.
Oh, we've got Carol from St. Pete. I'm kind of jealous. It's a little cold up here. All right. So now we do have Alex Falconi from our Nevada Judges. As I said, Irish Demon will be joining us. He had to get car parts. The car broke down, and he's been working on the car. But he'll be joining us soon. So this is about the LoLsuit that my stalker filed against me. And it started, he found me in a Facebook group. He didn't like people in the Facebook group and started sending me messages. And trust me, they were disgusting. And I didn't really talk about him, but he was commenting on some of my posts. He was taking my photos, making memes out of them, mocking me, mocking my disability and health issues. Then one time I snapped back on him because it was on a post he had made attributing a false quote to that person who is now a sitting judge in Clark County. And I was like, listen, this is what he does to people. And I was like, I got the evidence. I've got all the screenshots of posts that he's made about me, and I mean, just all sorts of shit. And so he sued me for defamation because of that. I want to start off with, it's one of the videos from our Nevada Judges. It's one of the hearings. I'm not sure if that actually shows. Did that show it? I'm guessing not.
Yeah, I've never used StreamYard. I heard it's pretty intuitive, but I've never used it. Yeah.
Let's see. Oh. So far, it's been pretty easy.
There it goes. Something's happening.
Yes.
Objection, Your Honor. Opposing counsel is testifying right now. There are no affidavits, and I would like to be heard on.
Okay, so the reason I'm showing this video is to give you guys an idea of how he talks and operates within the court. For the only hearing we had in my case, it was via Zoom, but it was not allowed to be recorded or anything. So I don't actually have video of the hearing. But I kind of want to give everyone an idea of how he is. Because, well, yeah.
On something for a moment. With the court's permission.
Sir, I run this courtroom, not you. I'm listening to the other side, and I will give you an opportunity in just a moment. All right?
Good morning, Your Honor. May it please the court. It's Phillips here, but I'm having trouble getting the video working.
Okay, well, do your best, and at least I know you're here so you can hear what's going on. And it looks like we've got several things going on. Get to the case. Well, there is a lot of stuff filed, but I will say we do not see defendant's joint motion to strike plaintiff's August 20th. Notice of erratum and supplemental brief in opposition to motion to dismiss. But there sure is a lot of filings in this case.
So this is something that Todd Matthew Phillips does, is he will drown you in motions. I think in my case, he filed like 8 or 9 motions. We filed 2, aside from our response to the initial suit. We filed 2 motions. We had a hearing on one, and the judge was adjourning the other one. But he complained that he wasn't being heard. He was complaining that he didn't get to have a hearing because he didn't schedule one. So, but this is what he does. It's crazy.
But let's go ahead and start with defendants DeCero and Schoen's renewed special motion to dismiss pursuant to NRS 41.611, the anti-SLAPP statutes, NRCP 12B5, and motion for summary judgment. And I note that Ms. Abrams and the Abrams law firm has joined in that. So I'd like to hear that motion.
Okay, Your Honor. This is Mark Swick for Mr. DCR, Mr. Schoen. As you just noted, this case has had quite the procedural history already. There's been a lot of filings. The one thing I wanted to point out in sort of beginning my discussion with the court is something the court should know, and that is plaintiff has been going through great lengths in this case to sort of minimize and detract and take the court's attention away from the context in which this dispute has arisen. His opposition, you'll see, ignores nearly the entirety of our statement of facts and so forth. So just sort of keep that in mind as I go through this, because the facts are quite intense. So there's a lot that's going on between these parties, and there's no way that plaintiff can actually reasonably and meaningfully try to narrow it down to this little tiny hole that he's trying to put it in. But these parties are on opposite and different sides in the public domain, arguing competing political views and policy views with regard to the Nevada legal system. So they're basically on opposite sides of election issues with regard to things like which judicial candidates to back, focus on the family court system and so forth. So on side one, we'll start with side one. This is plaintiff's side, Mr. Matthew Phillips' side.
Okay, sorry, counsel. We had an issue during the trial yesterday, and I wanted to make sure it got fixed.
Before I go further, I know you referenced you have a court reporter. This is being recorded today, correct?
Of course.
I'm sorry. You said yes?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, you can hear me now? Okay, great. The video's back on. Okay, so I was saying we got 2 sides here. I'm trying to let me first establish side one for you, Your Honor. Side one involves plaintiff and a group called Veterans in Politics. Mr. Phillips is affiliated with this group, no matter how hard he tries today to say otherwise. You can see we attached quite a stack of documents as exhibits to our motion showing his affiliation and involvement with that group. That group is a sizable group. It has about 2,800 people that follow it on their Facebook page. That's side one. Side two is my client's side, Mr. Schoen and Mr. DiCiero. They're involved with a PAC called Nevada Court Watchers. They also administer and manage a Facebook page. As of this weekend, the Nevada Court Watchers had about 638 members. So they're big.
Okay, so Nevada Court Watchers is the group on Facebook that he doesn't like, and that's where he found me. So, yeah.
So one thing that I didn't realize is, I guess this, according to this lawyer, he's saying that Mr. Phillips is saying he's not affiliated with VIPI, but I could have sworn that he says at some point that he's friends with the leader of VIPI. I wonder if he's... And the other thing that's confusing is that might not even be the case anymore. So the affiliation between them may not be what it used to be, from what I've been hearing.
Yeah,
So,
that's my understanding is.
So my big question is, did you post it? So did the lawsuit stem from a comment you posted in relation to this video, or was it just some other?
No, it was a post on one of his now defunct pages, and it was a post about Mary Perry.
Okay.
And he was attacking her, and people were in the comments like, what the hell? So I was like, no, this is what he's done this is what he's doing to me. Like, it's the same thing. And that is what it's from, because I was like, he's completely unhinged, and because to me he is. But like I said, he threatens women, he does this, he does that, which he does, and there's evidence of it. I mean, he was threatening and harassing me. But that is what he filed a lawsuit about. Well, I can pull it up.
Yeah, I think that's probably the thing that would be most interesting to people, is that an attorney sued over a comment on social media.
Yeah.
Which I know isn't the first time it's happened, because there was a recent case here in Nevada with like a bear biologist, same exact thing. Somebody posted something to a Facebook group and then he sued. And I'm sure it's just odd, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like I can understand if somebody goes on TV and says something, or even makes a video, but to posting a comment, it's
on
the
his
strangest
own
thing.
page. That's what was weird, because if you don't like it, you can delete it.
Yeah. I mean, aren't there other bad actors out there who get bad comments all the time? Like, I don't watch. I know they exist, like Chili.
Yeah.
I don't whatever his name is, and there's other people
He
like
who shall
that.
not be named.
There's a bunch of them on social media, and there's like millions of people posting negative comments about them. I don't think he's sued anybody.
No, he
So
is.
it's just yeah, but is it from a comment or is it from a video? Because that's a big leap. To go from, is there somebody who's done a video attacking him?
I think it's the videos.
Yeah, and they probably have an audience of like hundreds of thousands of people. So that's different than like somebody going in and just posting a comment. To me, that's just, it goes way too far.
Yeah, I think I'm probably like the only one that's been sued over a comment, though, right?
Yeah, because the bear biologist case, somebody actually posted a paste to the group. Posted to the group, whereas you just posted a comment. It's like the most. It's just crazy because it's on social media. A lot of people read comments and take them with the tiniest grain of salt. It's just, it sounds like something a very thin-skinned lawyer would do to me.
Yeah.
Which is odd because, lawyers get attacked all the time. So what's the deal?
You have to actually practice in order to
have a reputation. Well, a reputation that matters, I suppose. If you have a reputation that's poor, but you're not practicing, then there's so many issues with it. I mean, you just can't get into a realm where suing over a comment on social media makes sense. It's maybe if the person who posted the comment was like Elon Musk or Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
I mean, this is just a random person, like seriously.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why when I called my attorney, I was like, this is the weirdest, most fucked up thing you're ever gonna see. I was like, this is so weird. And she was kind of like, oh, okay, Jess. And then she got the initial claim, and she just was like, what the hell? And it was like, yes. And then he started calling her, and she was like, what is wrong with this guy? She's like, this is so fucking weird. And I was like, I told you, he is weird. Like, this whole thing is insane. Yeah. So, yes. So I've won. Thank God. It's been going on a little over a year. It started September of last year. And I want to go back to the video because I want to show him and like how he speaks. I don't think I did that right.
Not quite as big as the veterans.
Missing my clue.
What the hell did I do?
No, it's good.
Okay.
Accuse me of labeling your documents as fugitive when I plainly said more than once, I am reading from the defendant's document. Okay, are we clear on that?
It is in the list.
Sir, are we clear on that? Sir, are we clear?
Is this Judge Kishner?
Oh
no, I think it's Sturman.
Yeah, Sturman.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we will move on to Phillips. Is it? It's a couple minutes before 10. I think we can probably call our 10 a.m. matter. All right, so we'll move on then to our 10 a.m. calendar. Clerk's going to ask, the recorder's going to ask who's present, so we know who's going to be participating here. Please identify yourself with name and if you've got a bar number with that bar number, so we know who's when people are speaking. The recorder can make sure it's good minute. The clerk can get minutes. So we're going to start first with the plaintiff. So if you can tell us your the appearance for the plaintiff.
Who's here for plaintiff?
I see, Mr. Phillips, we've got you. You're showing up, but it looks like you may be muted on your end because we don't have anybody muted on our end. So
If you can hear me, Your Honor, I can see you, but my video is not working for some reason here.
okay, yeah, we don't see you, but we can now hear you. So so thank you very much, Mr. Phillips. Okay, moving on then for Mr. Schoen, counsel for Mr. Schoen.
Good morning, Your Honor. This is Mark Swick, bar number 6946 for defendants Mark DiCiero and David Schoen.
Mr. Lick, okay.
Hopefully you can hear me okay. My video is working.
We certainly can. And for the Abrams defendants?
Good morning, Your Honor. This is Amber Williams for the Abrams defendants, bar number 12301.
Okay, Irish just commented that he should be along soon. He almost has the car started, so yay. Hey, Peggy, how are you? And thank you, Carol. Okay, let's watch this video. You guys, just listen to this dude. Oh, wait, I hit the wrong one.
Mr. Williams, Ms. Williams, thank you very much. And I think I see our Nevada judges online appearing pro se. So do we have an appearance for that?
Alex here. We weren't expecting to have to speak at this hearing, so our software wasn't configured to pick up our voice. Basically, we just told the court that we were here to record and publish the hearing only.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's frustrating when they do.
Okay.
Can I say something?
So, all righty.
Yeah.
So I think, is that everybody who's here?
Yeah, sorry.
So I have to do a bunch of extra stuff. Like if I'm going to record my own voice, the best way is for me to set up two machines and have a separate machine record. So when sometimes that happens and I feel bad because I wish you guys could hear what I'm saying, but it's like, I haven't set OBS to pick my voice up. And also another thing I was going to point out is it's odd when they expect me to appear because we're not parties. And that doesn't happen too much anymore. But that's another thing that was confusing to me. Yeah.
Yeah, but okay, so I know he's been arguing, TMP has been arguing about you filing the media request into a case.
Yeah.
What is that? He says like you're doing a joinder.
No, he just doesn't. So I think that he just doesn't want us there, so he just comes up with all these arguments against it. I have a feeling if it was like a different media organization, he probably wouldn't care. So he doesn't like the process, and the process was created by the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court doesn't really seem to care if you have a chance to respond or not, because if they did, I don't know why they would, number one, make the time limit 24 hours, which is very short, and then number two, allow a judge to waive it. He just doesn't like that. He wants it to be like, he wants us to litigate. He wants us to like fight our way into the case. He wants us to like, we're adversaries and we're enemies of the parties, and therefore we have to file motions and go to war and all this stuff. And the Supreme Court's like, no, you file a one-page piece of paper that says who you are and that you want to record, and you have to do it within 24 hours unless the judge doesn't feel like it. The judge, because I've had judges do that, where they're just like, nah, you don't have to file anything, you can just record. So there's no like, it's just in my opinion, it's just because he doesn't like me or the Nevada Judges Organization, and so he's just trying to find ways to be annoying. And it's just weird to me because I think it makes him look bad, because I think a lot of people watch the videos to see like what's going on in a case, and they're not trying to watch a video to like watch me fight with litigants. That's not the point of any of this stuff. But he's like, he wants to fight me, which I don't understand, because I just don't understand it at all. Like if you have a grievance and you filed a lawsuit, and now you have a megaphone, and the public can sort of watch what your grievance is. I don't see how that's a bad thing, but he just wants to fight. Like, and this is a recurring issue with him.
Yes, and see, this is what I really don't understand, right? Because he claims that there's all of this corruption, especially in family court, but he doesn't want court to be recorded, especially if it's his case.
Yeah.
But I would think that he would want that recorded and out there so that he can actually prove that there's corruption. You would think.
That's what I would think too. But there's also signs that it's so, like, I think with a vexatious litigant, they know they have a losing case and they're just doing it to annoy everyone. But after watching this individual for so long, I think that he really does believe a lot of what he's saying. I don't think that, I mean, at first I thought that was a possibility, but over and over again, I keep watching these videos because I'm recording them. And then, of course, your situation. And it seems to me that he really does believe the stuff that he's saying. So it's even more confusing for me, because if you do believe everything that you're saying, what's the problem with it being out there? Because I think if a lawyer was being a vexatious litigant on purpose, like they knew everything was meritless, then it would make more sense that he's trying to, keep the camera off. But I mean, I'm not 100% convinced, but I'm leaning more towards the likelihood that he really does believe the stuff that he's saying, which just confuses me even more.
I think that is also there. Part of it is because he keeps saying it over and over. So I don't know if he truly believes it, or he keeps saying it so that, because if you repeat it enough times, it becomes truth or fact. I don't know if that's what it is. I'm not a psychiatrist, but I'm pretty sure this guy has some mental health issues.
If one of the cases actually went to an evidentiary hearing or a trial, we would probably find out, but it doesn't seem like any of them are going to. Yours was dismissed, and then this one is pending anti-SLAPP, and then the one with Shannon Wilson, which is his ex's lawyer that he sued, got dismissed also. So it's
that was
just
great to see.
they're going to be one of those gigantic question marks, and
So I want to say, Peggy, yes, I was knitting. I'm actually knitting a hat for Irish Demon. You can't really see it. It's black. And then I have to dye yarn, and I will be knitting a hat for Mrs. Demon. Thank you, Dusty Clapper, for coming. My case is actually not ongoing. The Court of Appeals upheld the decision of the lower court dismissing the case. So it's essentially over.
I was curious about that.
We're talking about my case.
Sorry. Go ahead. I was going to ask you something. Was it dismissed because of the deposit only, or was it also dismissed for failure to state a claim?
It was, okay, so the underlying case in district court, I think it was district court. No, circuit court, sorry. In our circuit court, we had filed two motions. One was a motion for surety of cost, and the other was a motion for the order of protection. The judge actually set aside the order of protection motion and handled the surety of cost, which it's based on, like, the judge decides the amount, which is judging. Essentially, it's put up or shut up. You have to literally put a surety bond on with the courts, and the judge can make that decision based on the strength or weakness of the case. So we had asked for $5,000, which was my attorney's retainer fee, and the judge granted it because two of his pieces of evidence actually support what I said, which so did his order and decision, whatever, from his divorce. So he didn't pay that. He appealed it initially, right in the hearing. Then he did the formal appeal or whatever of that decision, and she denied it, which gave him an extra 31 days to pay, and he still didn't pay it. So That was that. When he went to the Court of Appeals, now that was basically meritless. Like they literally said something like it doesn't even give, like, basically there's no question to even answer it because there's nothing there. Because he was trying to get the Court of Appeals to overturn dismissing the case in the lower court, which didn't happen because he was saying like the judge was unlawful. I mean, he's essentially accused the judge of being biased and like ignorant. I literally was sitting there watching this hearing and I was like doing everything I could to not sit there with my jaw dropped. I mean, it was like,
how is he when he's recorded versus not? Like, was he the same on your hearings in Michigan as he is in the ones that I have a camera on him in Nevada, or was he different?
I'm not sure if he was aware that it wasn't able to be recorded, but he was pretty adversarial, and like at one point, our two motions, which is the surety bond and the order of protection, he only wrote an appeal for the order of protection, and I think he had it confused with a restraining order because they're not the same thing.
Yeah.
And I think I didn't put that. Not for this. Yeah, no, I was trying to think if I didn't add that PDF to this stream, because if I were to do the whole thing, it would take 6 to 8 hours. It's insane. So yeah, but he wrote this. What do you call it? Response to the motion, and I mean, he was going on and on. Like he called me a wacko hypochondriac or a wackadoodle or whatever. He said I was like lying. He accused me of being one of his like thousands of adoring fans or some shit. Like, trust me, dude, I don't like you. I don't want nothing to do with you. I was never involved with you until you messaged me. So it was all on him, but you know.
Yeah, you should probably talk about that to people, about how, I mean, so the things that he's accusing you of doing that were defamatory, my question to you is, was he doing similar, if not worse things back to you?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so my suspicion, without even reading anything, is that he would say that that's not a defense and that you have to file a counterclaim. My suspicion is that he would say, oh, yeah, so say I said a bunch of stuff that's bad about you, that doesn't mean you can shield yourself from your statements. You have to sue me in a counter. Basically, it's like, I mean, people should probably know about that. I mean, that's a troubling thing. Because a lot of times an ordinary person's reaction to being insulted is to counter insult. That's oftentimes the ordinary instinct of a person is, okay, if I'm being insulted, I'm going to insult you back. And so this is a lawyer who's like, well, I'm just going to sue you. And if you don't like it, then you can sue me back. But ordinary people don't want to get embroiled in litigation. It's like, look, we just threw barbs at each other. Let's move on. And he's like, no, you're sued. Let's have fun in court. So, yeah, it's another thing to probably focus on.
Yes, and that actually comes in. I didn't add all that in for today because I'm definitely going to go cover the whole thing. But to try and do all of it in one sitting is insane.
There's a lot of stuff in all the cases, not just in yours, but there's a lot of these details. You know?
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
There is.
People have disappeared in Detroit.
Yeah,
threatening other people.
Yeah, I saw that. Jimmy Hoffa. No, literally, yeah, that does happen. Just a chili hater? I just saw that. I don't know what would happen if TMP or He Who Shall Not Be Named were to go to Detroit and pull this shit. I honestly don't know. Because Detroit's not as big as it used to be. So, essentially he was like, oh, because I was like, yeah, I did say that, right? He had the screenshot of my comment, right? So yeah, I'm gonna say, oh no, I didn't say it. No, I did say it. And he was like, oh, see, that's defamation. She admits to it, so she has nothing. And I'm like, here's the problem though, because truth ain't defamation. Facts ain't defamation. And that's where he was wrong. I mean, Heather, yeah. So this guy is an attorney. He is licensed in the state of California. But if I understand correctly, what I have heard is that he went to an unaccredited law school. Is that what it is, Alex?
Yeah, I had to unmute myself. He, I don't know about. So I've heard that he's from an unaccredited law school, but I really don't know. I've never looked into it. So it's just, as far as I know, that's the case. But you can probably find. He probably posts it. It's probably on his social media somewhere with the school that he went to. But yeah, California takes exceptional schools.
Don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I don't know. That's what I've heard. So I can't say that for sure. So essentially, like, because I'm in Michigan, he had to file the lawsuit against me here in Michigan. And now this is his actual, what he filed. See, he says he is a lawyer and a Nevada resident who is in custody litigation in Nevada family court. So I'm pretty sure the custody case was over by this point. September of last year.
Oh, his case?
Just because he's appealing doesn't mean it's ongoing.
Yeah, I think he was filing motions even while it was being appealed, because you're allowed to do that. So it was probably still going. Yeah.
Okay, I don't know, because I literally didn't know anything about him, and I don't want to know anything about him. But yeah, so he's like, in her own words, a social media influencer, because I would occasionally use the hashtag influencer. Right?
So
that doesn't mean I'm a social media influencer.
Yeah.
I know. Because he mocked me about that. But then he bragged on one of his posts about how I had deactivated my Facebook. Right? I deactivated it. So then he's bragging about me deleting my Facebook, and now I'm not going to earn money or whatever. At that point, I was on Instagram and Facebook. Yeah. Yes, I have both of my dash hounds.
Oh, that's funny.
Fritz.
On your shirt.
Fritz.
Yeah.
And in my shirt. Yeah, it was normal 2 dash hounds ago. And we have Luna, my co-anchors. So, sorry. So, yeah, like, he bragged about not letting me earn money or whatever, but I was on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. And, like, I wasn't very big on TikTok. I think I earned a total of 9 cents off of TikTok. So it was like, okay, yes, I'm so influential. And then he says, yeah, the parties have never met. The parties have never spoken. Well, I guess if he meant like actual words, he's correct. I've never spoken directly with him. But he absolutely has commented and messaged me. I have no apparent connection to Nevada except for the Nevada court watchers. I bully, ridicule, and denigrate litigants who have cases in family courts, many of whom are fighting for custody of their minor children. I made fun of Michael McDonald because he acts like an ass.
Yeah.
Like, he's the whole reason because of the Michael McDonald case, that's how I found all of like Nevada court watchers.
Yeah.
So, sorry, your buddy put him on the internet, and I stumbled across him on YouTube. So, yeah. But it's so what my quote was is this: G. Matthew Phillips is a hack, a liner, which is supposed to be liar, a wife beater. He has threatened to shoot up his child's school. He goes around suing everyone but has yet to win a single case. He is a vile creature that loves to stalk others, stealing their photos, doctoring them how he wants, attributes quotes to the person that had never said anything like that. He loves to hide behind his computer and harass and threaten others. One of his favorite things to do is call women cunts and tell them how he is going to destroy them and fuck them up. I said, sorry for the cursing, Mary, but that's what he said. He will message you and say nasty shit that I just said, make fun of your weight, gender, sexuality, disability, etc. Then he instantly turns around and blocks you, which is funny because he just unsuccessfully tried to take the sitting judge on his divorce case to federal district court because he claims the judge blocked him on Facebook. Priceless. And everything was dismissed with prejudice. He knew it Thursday when the ruling came down, yet he was still bragging about how the federal courts were going to find in his favor. TMP has absolutely no footing in reality. He is completely unhinged. And after he blocks you, he creates multiple fake profiles and messages you from them.
Yeah, Shannon Wilson's attorney in the Shannon Wilson lawsuit, they put a footnote with all of the cases he lost. So you can actually go through, if you go through the motion to dismiss, you can go through each of the cases. There was also a line from that lawyer that I still haven't forgotten. The lawyer said something like, Todd Matthew Phillips is as litigious as he is unsuccessful. And I never forgot that line.
Yes, I remember that. That made me kind of laugh.
Yeah. So
it's like the opening that my appellate attorney did was something like he is as familiar, or he's used to doing whatever, he's used to losing, basically. And it was nice to hear that.
I mean, the list is really long of lawsuits, like federal stuff, state stuff. There's a lot in that list. I mean, it was one of the biggest footnotes. I think the footnote went up to like line 21 on this sheet to give people an idea. It might have been 22, 23, but it was a big list of cases. So yeah, this is.
Did you see his latest thing?
What's going on now?
He went to he went to SCOTUS, and I believe it's about the decision and decree for his custody or whatever.
It's the domestic violence thing. I get it. Yeah. He's trying to say that you can only charge criminally, which is weird because, I mean, just to use as an example, O.J. Simpson, if you look at O.J., he got prosecuted criminally and he also got sued civilly for the same thing. So if you're using Mr. Phillips's argument, then the O.J. case would have been a farce. It's like, it's a strange argument.
He does use that in a post.
That's good that he at least acknowledges that.
The other day.
About the OJ thing, or?
Yeah.
What did he say
about the OJ thing.
Did he concede it was an issue for him, or did he say that was a farce too?
No. All right, we got Irish Demon in the house. Hello.
SCOTUS will even probably look at it. I think the percent chance of even being considered is like 1%, probably less than 1%.
Yeah. Well, the claim is like the whole, is it because he was criminally for the murders or whatever, but then civil was for the wrongful death lawsuit.
But so what? It has a different name. The thing is, it doesn't matter. It's still just because it has a different label. So they could call domestic violence domestic harm, and then all of a sudden now you can sue civilly. It's
I know.
It's just because of the
I
different
don't know.
words.
He likes to say like, "Oh."
Yeah.
I guess.
SCOTUS,
I don't know. But he loves to say, "Oh."
SCOTUS gets like 5. I think they get like 5. How many thousands do they get? I'm gonna look it up. How many thousands of petitions do they get? Let's see. Oh, they get 7,000 to 8,000 petitions for writs of certiorari. So if they only per year, and it says they hear oral arguments in about 80. So less than 1% chance. Well, that's for oral argument. He might, I guess they probably do stuff without a hearing. Looks like your guest is gone.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I don't know. Irish disappeared.
The court accepts.
Oh, he's on his phone.
Just doing some.
Yeah. He likes to talk about how, like, domestic violence doesn't belong in the family courts. The problem is restraining orders is through family court. Even non-domestic restraining orders goes through family court. So absolutely domestic violence is heard within family court. And
well, they could just get rid of the label anyway.
Irish just has to go start.
So say the label is a problem, and like it, even though it's not a problem, but if assuming just for the sake of argument that the label domestic violence is a problem, they could just get rid of the label and still apply the presumption just by defining the acts that constitute it anyway. So it wouldn't matter. They could just have a statute with a list of acts that disqualifies a parent from getting physical custody. Now the label's gone, and so all of a sudden magically it's constitutional. It's another thing. It's like certain people do certain things.
I don't
those
understand
things
that.
affect custody. It's like the court has to make a decision on custody based on what the parents are doing. And just because certain things are also a crime doesn't mean magically they can't consider any of that stuff now. Plus the police are busy. The DA doesn't charge on everything. The DA has like prosecutorial discretion as to who they're going to go after. It doesn't mean that the people that they didn't go after didn't do anything wrong. There's like so many things wrong with this assertion that he's making, the domestic violence thing.
Yeah.
So it's just
like,
super weird to me.
Yeah, it is weird. To me it shows his lack of understanding of how shit works. I'll say it.
Well, I'll say I think that this isn't really just him that does this. So I've seen other people, they'll lose their case and then they'll think that the solution to the problem of losing their case is not that the fact finder was wrong, but that the rules and the procedures should be changed such that it would be impossible for them to be in that situation in the future, or to have ever been in that situation. Yeah. I see a lot of people do that. I don't see many people say that the fact finder got it wrong. I see people say that the rules shouldn't be set up this way. It's like since I
or
lost,
it's a violation of their constitutional rights.
Well, that's the same sort of situation.
They say it's that constitutional right violations.
Right. The point I'm making is that the fact-finding analysis should never occur. That's the approach that they take. They lost their case, and so the fact-finding analysis should have never occurred. The system cannot be trusted. Whereas I think a more reasonable person or somebody who knows the way that the court system has to work would be like, okay, sometimes fact-finders get it wrong. I don't hear that from him as much, and that's what this domestic violence argument is really. Is it's trying to say that this shouldn't be within the realm of this entire system. Just remove it completely. And like I'm telling you, I don't think that's just him. I think a lot of people do that. Yeah.
Yeah. But the thing with like restraining orders, okay, even if it's non-domestic, that's family court. If you are found guilty of violating a restraining order, that's a crime. And you can go to jail for it. But guess what? It's a family court judge that decides that.
Well, they decide to enter
say a family court judge can't do this?
Well, the family courts enter the restraining order, but to bring up the criminal part of it is, as far as I know, criminal court. That would pop up. I mean, they could do a contempt if they really wanted to, but I don't think that they have to. I think they call the cops, you get arrested, you get thrown in jail, you get charged. It goes through the criminal process. But you're right that the family court judge enters it. As far as I know, in Nevada, the family court creates that order and puts it into the system. And then if you do something wrong and get arrested, you get prosecuted in criminal court, as far as I know.
So here in Michigan, now, to preface, I worked as a domestic violence advocate and investigator for a local county, and Iris should be on now.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
Sorry about that. I tried to get in on my
Yeah.
phone, and I think it was because my headphones were acting up a bit. Because where I live is like a bit of a black zone, so trying to get coverage on my phone or my headphones, Bluetooth doesn't work. It's crazy. Once I leave the cottage at all, that's it. It's like it's a black hole down here.
I'll live where you live. I'll gladly go live where you live.
It is. It's awesome. I as you guys know, I got stuck out on the motorway today on the car, so it was a relief to get home to the trees and the rivers and all that stuff. So it was pretty good. So how's things? How's everybody?
Doing good. We had watched a video of my stalker, although he doesn't like that label, but per Michigan law, he's stalking me. We watched a video just so people could see like how he is in court. He's rude and he will yell and argue with the judge, which he certainly did in my case.
Was that the guy that was talking about not wanting people to record or something?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, no, I was listening to that earlier because my headphones were kind of in and out when I was working on the car, and I was like, oh, that guy sounds like a complete tool.
Well,
yes.
That's another thing that's odd. It's I see. I mean, does he claim ownership of that social media group? The reason I bring that up is because it's odd to have a social media group with publicity. You know, that's the point, is you want public attention on your group, and then at the same time, don't want camera access to your hearing. Does he claim ownership of that? So it's called Atomic Court Watchers, but I've never seen 100% for sure that he claims ownership of it. He does?
See, now he claims that there's like 3 people that run the group. Like he's got ladies that run whatever. But he has posted under the Atomic Court Watchers label as himself. And then he's also posted under his actual profile.
Yeah.
So
is that on Facebook or
definitely is
Facebook.
Yes, it's Facebook.
I don't use Facebook really.
That's where this all
to cause some drama.
Yeah, no. That's where all of this started. I was in a Facebook group with people he didn't like. So he sent me nice messages.
That's the thing that I see a lot of, that I don't know if you guys have noticed. They seal their custody case, they seal their divorce, but then they go on social media or they do interviews. They post stuff publicly. So they want to publicly discuss the issues, but they don't want people to see what's going on in the actual case. Exactly. I call it the trust me attitude. It's like, no, wait, I do want you to know about my case and all these horrible, corrupt things that are going on, but you have to trust me. I don't want you to actually go and see for yourself.
Exactly.
And there's like 4 or 5 other people that do the same thing. And I'm hearing about the Alex Jones issue, same thing. Apparently his wife is doing interviews talking about how she sealed her case to protect her kids. And then Alex Jones goes on and talks about the case all the time on his show. And it's like this is one of the things that I brought up to the ACLU and why we've sued to open a family court. It's because it's a farce. It's like, hey, seal everything, make it all super secret, and then at the same time make a mockery of the whole thing by talking about it all over the place. And then suing for defamation
court as well. I did security in the family court for about 6 months or so. When I was injured, I was sent down there to kind of keep me not too busy, I guess. And what I found listening in there, the thing with family court is, depending on who you are and what way you look at it and what your individual situations are, it tends to be weaponized in both directions, I found. So you'll have situations where one member of a family is weaponizing family court against somebody else and vice versa. And what I found is when it's sealed and then you get back, you see the same people come back every few weeks or whatever, and they say, oh, he said this thing on Facebook that wasn't true, and you're like, well, this is probably a good reason why somebody being able to say, hey guys, here's the court documents, here's the evidence. It's and not to say his name 3 times and he appears in your mirror or anything, but Chile is doing the exact same thing right now. This is something that I've been kind of looking at over the past week. So the judge mentioned in that case recently that if anybody was to record and release the videos on social media, that she would close the court to the public in future, and almost immediately we saw this very questionable video of the stream which has been going under some very interesting analysis, I might add. I've got a friend looking at it at the moment that might shed some light on who was actually recording the whole thing. And so I would suggest that it would be in Chili's best interest for somebody to record it and release it so he can complain, because every time he comes out of court and says, I won this and I did this, and we call it out, we have the proof. But when it's a case where it's locked down, we don't have that evidence. So he has more power to say what he says happened.
Yeah,
Anyway.
but it's one of the discussions that I've had with some of the family court judges. It's like, number one, the sealing doesn't actually do what you're saying that it's supposed to do, because it's supposed to protect the public from looking into a case. But the people who are talking about these cases are the actual litigants. So sealing doesn't do anything because they still have access to it. And then number two, which is what you just described, which is it ends up in the public forum anyway, because people want to talk about it. And now it's a complete disaster because all you're hearing is 3 or 4 different sides of the same story when you can so easily just look at it yourself. So
I mean, the record speaks for itself ultimately. Oh, it is 100%. Like the record speaks for itself, as they say. And if, for example, again, because he's the one that we're kind of, dealing with at the moment, when it comes to Chile, he says one thing and then we can say, here's the piece of paper that says that is not true. Once that goes away, or here's the video, even more to the point, that says that's not true. Once that goes away, that only feeds to him, because he's then able to turn around and say, this happened in court, and then it's his word against whoever's, and nobody's going to take his word for it, let's face it, except for the few smooth brains in his side chat that are going to believe him. So it kind of tears his whole idea apart a little bit, because then people like me and others go out and say, okay, well, we don't know what happened because we weren't allowed to be there, but here's what I think probably happened based on, what Chili said or whatever. So it actually goes against him.
Yeah,
and then that's not defamation or whatever.
Well, has he sued? Because that's a common thing that I see too, is they'll seal everything up, let people talk about it, and then sue them for defamation, which is interesting.
Exactly.
Because if the
lady in Starbucks spelled his name wrong yesterday, so he's suing her as well. So he just sues everybody.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
No, I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, I was like, oh my God.
That's a good joke, actually.
See, that's funny, because the fact that didn't surprise you, and the fact that you thought, hold on, that actually could be real, I better ask. That's part of the bigger issue here, right? That like you would actually think for a minute, oh, actually, I wouldn't be surprised if he did that, or like somehow blamed me or Kate or fucking whoever he's got to, his hate has been pushed upon at that moment in time. Arizona Jeep Girl was probably responsible for that one.
I don't even know who that is. Like, I heard her name. I don't know who she is. I've not seen any of her stuff. I'm like, all he's saying is he wants her bar card. And so that's crazy. By the way, Mr. C does not want talking about he who shall not be.
Oh yeah. Oh God, yeah. It's a touchy subject.
We just got through a lawsuit for defamation. So I don't understand. Like, that's what this case. That's the case I'm talking about. Irish is my stalker per Michigan law, suing me for defamation. And that's what, so he says I falsely alleged that he threatened to shoot up his kid's school. He threatens others, and he tells women he's going to fuck them up. But apparently I was telling malicious lies, which, and it's not. It wasn't lies. He goes through, like, I don't know how to describe this, but he is an attorney, yet he doesn't bother to read up on laws and how things are done, especially in other states. It's so weird that he doesn't.
Have you heard the phrase? The punishment is the process? Sometimes
yes,
it's just subjecting you to the process.
Absolutely,
it doesn't matter.
I found that a lot in. I used to do security in the restraining orders court for a little while. I was in there for about. Well, I worked there for about nearly 5 years, and I did security in the restraining orders on and off over that time. A total of maybe 8 or 9 months or whatever. And when I started studying law in Australia, I wanted to be in that court because I could chill out the back and study at the same time. And the amount of times that I saw people being brought in for restraining orders, purely because in Australia anyway, when somebody comes in and has the initial ex parte hearing, inevitably they will get it. As long as the story is sobby enough, they'll get it. So that then they're
same
really
here in
fast on
Michigan.
these things in Australia, though. You have 14 days to appear. If you don't appear, you get a default judgment in favor of whoever appears. But then you can go back and fight that. You
That's
can
the
have a
same here in
second
Michigan.
shot at it. And it's a good thing that does exist. But at the same
It's that
time,
way here.
like, I saw one case. I remember it was two sisters that were having a bit of an argument over something, and one came in and got a restraining order against the other. But she waited. She waited until the day that her sister went on holidays to Fiji, knowing full well that she wouldn't be able to respond within 2 weeks because she was away for 21 days. Failed to mention that. And when they came back for the second hearing, she said she hadn't heard from her sister. So the judge issued a 1-year conduct restraining order, which is like it's a big nothing burger, really. And then the sister came back a week later, came into the court, asked to be put before the judge. So we got that arranged, magistrate, and he said to her, like, you should have responded within 14 days. And she had been served the ex parte, the initial grant, at the airport. She told the sister told the cops that she was at the airport, and she said, "Look, I was served at the airport. How did the cops know I was at the airport?" And the file said, the FOIA request said that the sister had called the cops and said that's where she was because she was flying out to Fiji. And she said, my sister knew I was going to Fiji for 21 days. So, and so they got called back in. It was actually a really funny hearing because they're twins. Yeah. So we had no idea who was who.
Oh, no.
Oh, it was really fun. It was a funny one. Yeah. And they were identical twins. Yeah. It was really, really funny.
Oh, man. I just wanted to point out, Irish, that Peggy Harkness says hi. I didn't know if you saw that.
Oh, Peggy. Good to see you, Peggy.
Yes, actually, she actually joined my membership. Is that how you say that? She is a member of my channel now. So I saw that last night. And I thank you so much. She is my first member.
That's
I'm going to have to do something nice for her.
Peggy's
and then
awesome.
Heather
Peggy's
says that she's going to have to
for a while.
Yes.
I was a member of about 5 different channels, and I lost them all because my YouTube account is still registered in Australia. So when I use my Irish credit card or my Irish PayPal, it doesn't go through, and my Aussie PayPal is all messed up. So I'm like, fuck. So I try to buy like merch and stuff instead to kind of support channels or whatever. But it's great though. YouTubing's fun. It's really good fun.
It is. I actually was very hesitant to get into it, and here I am killing it or whatever.
It's tough. It's tough. But it's once you get into it, it's great.
Well, you have a backstory now too.
Well,
that'll give you some shortcuts to it.
I do, and that's the thing. I'm getting comments from people. Either you do LoLsuits or you do yourself. You can't do both. And I'm like, dude, just wait, because I have both in my life.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
legitimately, I just finished this case. And, I mean, he asked for monetary damages per se, which isn't a thing in Michigan. Like, you can only get actual costs, which...
So he was a pro se litigant, wasn't
like, he didn't hire an attorney.
He's a lawyer.
He was, but he's a lawyer in California.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, that makes no difference then. Yeah, he's just pro se, I guess.
Yeah, it's the case of he knows just enough to do a bunch of damage is the best way to kind of say it.
Was he, did he have to ask for a grant of permission to practice in Michigan?
No. I don't think he does.
Because he actually puts...
He puts pro se on
and I don't
papers.
think they will let you.
Gotcha.
He does, but this is what I find weird, because he's licensed in California, but he lives in Las Vegas, Nevada, and everything that he files outside of California, he says licensed attorney in California with his bar number, and then sometimes he says not licensed in whatever state. It's weird. And the judge in my case told him, that's not relevant. Don't put it in there. Like, my judge is a big stick with. She's like hardcore on the rules. And I was kind of expecting, hey, Forgiven and Bruja, hello. Shady Pratt, yeah. I was kind of expecting there to be an objection to the judge because she practiced at the same time as my attorney. Like, they actually knew each other. They've been head to head. But that would have been funny because my attorney and the judge don't like each other. And like when she was elected, they kind of had to say, yep, we didn't get along, but now we're going to play fair or whatever. Like, that's all in the past. So I was kind of expecting to hear something like that, but it didn't happen. So, yeah.
Well, that's good that
either
it
way,
stayed
like he wasn't following.
You know?
Yes, yeah. And when my attorney said that, I was like, oh shit. Like, I know, like, really? But like in my county, there's only 2 judges. And so, yeah. So this is like the rest of his stuff. Yeah. But this is, I can't even go. It's weird. His evidence. Go over one. Oops, that one's too far. Sorry, my laptop just wanted to freeze. It's being weird. So, what the hell? Well, okay, so his first exhibit is literally the screenshot of me saying what I said. That's what that one is. What is going on? Why is my thing being weird? I literally don't know what's happening with this. Then, what is it doing? I don't know why it's doing that. It's so weird. So his second piece of evidence is this. He calls it a police report, and it's not really a police report. I believe it's an AutoCAD, which is the computer-aided dispatch system. Like all the cops have the computers. That's what this is from. I'm not sure though. I've never seen an.
This is the thing that he says refutes the court's order. This thing. The whole time is
that he proves. He proves that this is according to this police report. He didn't threaten to shoot up his kid's school.
Okay, but a court's finding
it was, but the thing is, yeah,
and
it was that there were no actual threats were made. He underlines it. No actual threats were made, but to the school staff directly. Threats were received by the female half of the TPO, and she advised the school. And that it was Mill called multiple schools to try to confirm that his son was in that school.
This is weird because there's a court order that says those things occurred. And a court order takes into consideration way more than this piece of paper. And I thought that this piece of paper was an actual, like, a real police report. But this is like nothing. What is this?
I think it's. I'm pretty sure this is the run report or whatever from the AutoCAD. I'm pretty sure that's what that is. That's the way, because it's like got an event number. But like he loves to do, like He Who Shall Not Be Named does, picking out little itty bitty tidbits, but there were no actual threats. Well, I didn't say that he made an actual threat directly to the school. It was that the threat was made.
It doesn't matter if you're exactly
funny because anyway, in his
because of the gist or sting rule,
and that actually is
doesn't matter.
And that was actually brought up in the appeal. So this is his second piece of evidence, which actually proves that what I said, that he had threatened to shoot up the kid's school, was actually happened. And then Exhibit 3. Now this one is what is like really strange. This Howard and Howard Law for Business. I don't don't know who they are because there is no affidavit, like he likes to say. Oh, there's no signed affidavit, so it's not real. He never provided any affidavits.
I want to read this. I haven't seen this. Hold on. Keep going. Sorry.
Okay. So this is from the, like I think they're the law firm for the security company, which I literally don't understand who these people are. Like, yeah, I'm not even sure. But it talks about locking down the school. It talks about it.
So, okay, same problem. He has the same problem, which is that an evidentiary hearing was held and findings of fact and conclusions of law were made, which would presumably take into consideration this evidence and the testimony of the witnesses and other evidence. So it still doesn't work, but these definitely do not look good. I don't know why he's providing these. He's underlining stuff, which I guess is in his mind not that bad.
Okay.
But yeah, locking down the elevators and all that.
Yeah, so the Forgiven Jerry asked, his son was in one of these schools. I'm not sure if it was like what do you call it, like a charter school, but they had a couple different campuses, I think, is my understanding, because it says that he called around to different schools because he didn't know where his son was at, and he asked me to read this out loud. So this is by hand delivery to the security site supervisor. Regarding the potential security threat, T. Matthew Phillips. Peggy Harkness, that is his name, Todd Matthew Phillips. Dear Mr. Nino, first, I want to thank you for the security response today. Locking down the elevators was very much appreciated. The following and the attachments constitute our firm's complaint about the individual above. I presume this is an internal document only, seen and used by the building security team and perhaps your subcontractors. And on that, how did he get this?
He probably subpoenaed Dukas Tecum. He probably did a subpoena Dukas Tecum to get it. If it's internal, that's probably how he got it.
Yeah. If your intention is to distribute it to the police or anyone else, please let me know beforehand. The following is more information than you need, but perhaps helpful for context, that I believe. I represent a K through 12 school in the Valley. Mr. Phillips is the parent of a child attending that school. Several days ago, on September 18th, 2018, I learned that he had visited the school and he antagonized and threatened the school and its staff with lawsuits. Now, this is one thing he says is, he threatened with litigation. It's not a threat. A threat is a threat.
Well, it doesn't matter because, like I was telling you earlier, the letter doesn't do anything for him if there was already an evidentiary hearing held and findings of fact and conclusions of law from multiple judges. I know that District Court Judge Vincent Ochoa did the main one, and then there's two other judges, if I remember correctly, Duckworth and Marquis, who did protective orders. So why does this matter as a defensive document? Because you would assume that at those hearings, all of this stuff would have been brought up and witnesses would have testified. So it doesn't matter. Why is this even like a defense? I've got to get going. I love your show though, and have fun with Irish. I'll see you.
Take care, Alex. Lovely to talk, man.
All right, same. Bye.
Have a great weekend. Take care, bud.
Okay. So it was that, so he threatened with lawsuits, which is still a threat. The staff considered his language and demeanor to be extremely hostile, as well as suggestive of mental illness, which I said he was completely unhinged, which is my opinion. But it backs up to 2018. Someone else is saying he's not mentally well. At the very least, they found it highly inappropriate for a school setting, which is true. Mr. Phillips visited the school because he had a question about a school policy concerning who could pick up his minor child, since there was a name on the school's list he did not recognize, but which his ex-wife had provided. So he responds by email, blah, 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 with the litigation threats. There were two reasons for today's security intervention. First, despite his only having made litigation threats in our dealings, Mr. Phillips has very recently threatened violence against others. Last week, on September 18th, 2018, Mr. Phillips' ex-spouse obtained a temporary order for protection against domestic violence, a TPO, against him, a copy of which I have in my possession. Among other things, the TPO ordered him not to visit the school or interfere in the child's schooling, and it gives his ex-wife sole custody. I was told by a credible source that the basis for the TPO was that Mr. Phillips threatened to shoot both his spouse and their elementary school-aged child.
That's crazy.
Now, that is true. It is in the finding of facts from his divorce and custody that he literally kept threatening his ex-wife. Like, he had asked her, because he's bragging about guns, and are you comfortable with my guns or something? And he was like, well, I'd kill you, but then I'd have to kill the kid too because he'd miss you too much or something, is summing it up.
That is so horrible.
Yeah, and then
That's
he
so
sued
bad.
me because I called him out on his bullshit for messaging me and threatening me. Like, he called me a cunt, and he was gonna, like, oh my god, this, and I didn't know who he was. I literally had no idea who this guy was before he messaged me on Facebook.
Nuts.
So, it's even worse than he who shall not be named.
Oh yeah.
Because I had
Oh,
no
my
clue who he was. Yeah. This is
And
what
so-
he.
so
This is what
did
he
he go after
does,
you
though.
because
He
you
goes
commented
around
on it,
killing
is it?
people. Yeah. Yep.
Jesus, that's nuts.
So
That's fucking nuts.
yeah, and it. I mean,
See,
it
we don't have
talks
that
more
kind of shit
about
in
that.
Ireland.
Like he's
Like in Ireland,
nice.
if you went to a judge in this country and you said,
Mhm.
Judge, I want to sue this person for saying something mean about me on the internet. I've literally heard a judge tell somebody to get the fuck out of my court and stop wasting my time. Literally word for word. Our local judge.
Yeah.
He's retired now. He was
Yeah.
a badass. Oh, he was great. Like if young lads, let's say, came in for like their first speeding ticket, rather than giving them a fine, he'd say to them, okay, the bailiff is going to hand you a scraper, and I want you to go out onto the road and scrape up all the old dirty chewing gum. And if you come back with a bag full of that and throw it in the bin, then you're good to go. And people complained. They were like,
That
well,
works.
that's like, that's not the right kind of punishment. Like, he can't do that. And he's like, no, I'm giving him opportunity. I'm saying if he wants to do this, he can do it. And I might, consider dropping the fine or dropping the charge. If not, then we just go ahead with the case, whatever. I thought it was a really good way of dealing with it. He was brilliant. He was really, really great.
Yeah, actually, we need more of that. So I got to give a shout out to Peggy Harkness because she just did a super chat for $10. Thank you, and it's
Awesome.
just for me being me. And she's actually my second super chat, but she's the biggest super chat so far. Okay, so because you missed it, was my comment was T. Matthew Phillips is a hack, a liner. I said liar. A wife beater. He has threatened to shoot up his child's school. He goes around suing everyone, but has yet to win a single case. He is a vile creature that loves to stalk others, stealing their photos, doctoring them how he wants, attributes quotes to the person that had never said anything like that. He loves to hide behind his computer and harass and threaten others. One of his favorite things to do is to call women cunts and tell them how he's going to destroy them and fuck them up. And I said, sorry for the cursing, Mary, but it's what he says. Now, this was he had made a post about a sitting judge in Clark County that I was Facebook friends with at the time. And I was like,
right.
Because people are like, what the hell? And I'm like, no, this is what he does. Like, I just gotten so fed up. So I said, he will message you and say nasty shit that I just said, make fun of your weight, gender, sexuality, disability, etc. Then he instantly turns around and blocks you, which is funny because he just unsuccessfully tried to take the sitting judge on his divorce case to federal district court because he claims the judge blocked him on Facebook, which is true. I just thought that was
is he saying he's taking that person to court because he blocked him on Facebook? Is that
the judge? Yeah, the judge blocked him on his personal Facebook, and so he took the judge to court. That was one of the reasons he was suing him. Is I don't even understand. It's so weird. So I said priceless, and everything was dismissed with prejudice. He knew it Thursday when the ruling came down, yet he was still bragging about how the federal courts were going to find in his favor. TMP has absolutely no footing in reality. He is completely unhinged, and after he blocks you, he creates multiple fake profiles and messages you from them, which is true.
So,
as I said before,
is this guy
he actually
a court watcher, or what's the deal?
No, he lost his family court case. His ex-wife was leaving him. They got divorced, and because of his behavior, he lost custody of his kid.
Oh, okay.
And his wife got restraining orders against him. Yeah, it's crazy.
That's crazy. So any dissenters get it.
It is.
Basically.
It is.
That's nuts.
Yes.
Man. I can't stand people like that. Like it's a new kind of thing, obviously, because of social media. I think one of the issues, though, is it's going to be really, really hard to. I think for judges, especially, it's going to be hard to know how to go forward with these things, because it's one thing Facebook posts, like Facebook posts, Twitter posts, YouTube videos. They're to some extent an extension of ourselves, generally speaking. Whereas things like Discord or Reddit, like places where it's more anonymous, it's going to be really hard to litigate anything where those cases are coming up. You know, like as He Who Must Not Be Named is trying to get names of people. It just doesn't work that way. So, you know, what a lot of this is going to cause, if judges don't say, okay, this person said what they wanted to say, if it's not the most egregious form of what's the word I'm looking for here? Sorry. Defamation. Sorry, I couldn't think of the word. If it's not the most egregious form of defamation, then generally I would say they should just throw it out. Reason being is, as time goes by, you're going to see more and more of this get pushed underground. It's much like the free speech debate. Like when it comes to people saying things I don't like on YouTube or Twitter or Facebook, I think everybody should be allowed to say anything they want, no matter how horrible it is, without getting blocked for it. But they should still be able to deal with the response of the general public. Because what happens is, if we block people from saying what we don't like and we don't just directly challenge it, what it creates is, first and foremost, an echo chamber for ourselves. Secondly, it creates an environment where people are afraid to say what they really think and then just have resentment because of it. And thirdly, it drives people underground to places like 4chan and other, you know, similar type places to go to. So then you don't know who anybody is. So you never know who the snake in the grass is at that point. So that's why I think free speech is important, but also being able to say what you think and what you like online, I think is vital.
Yeah. This, like Alex had said earlier, like there was only one other case about like Facebook, but it was like a video or something. So it wasn't, the comment was on one of his posts on his page that no longer exists, which is funny because one of the things that he asks for is for me to remove the comment and then make a public retraction and apology, which no, he had already deleted the Facebook page, so I couldn't have deleted the comment.
So this was, who was this? Sorry, I can't remember.
TMP, Todd Matthew Phillips.
Oh yeah, okay.
That's the guy that's been stalking me. It was on one of his groups or pages, whatever, that doesn't exist. But he wanted me to remove the comment and then make this public statement and apologize or whatever. But I couldn't because he already removed the group.
So yeah, he was looking for relief that was impossible at that point.
Yes. But on good faith, I went into this Nevada Court Watchers group. That's where he found me. And I literally removed every single comment, post from that group up to that point. I removed all of it. But then he also filed a motion for spoliation of evidence because I had deactivated my Facebook account because he was continuing to talk about me. Like, there was one post, he was mocking me for my teeth, and then someone called me a crackhead and a meth head, and he laughed about it and encouraged them to make fun of me.
Isn't that always the way, though? It's rules for me and not for, rules for thee and not for me. That's always the way with these guys.
Yes, because
it's just awful.
yeah, well, we had filed for an order of protection, which had to do with the deposition, not actually like a restraining order, because I physically wouldn't have been able to do, in Michigan, you have 1 day to do a deposition and 7 hours straight. And this was before I had my spine fused. I could sit for maybe 10, 15 minutes without pain. But then I also had to lay down at work. I literally had a yoga mat at work. I would lay on the floor and move my paperwork to the floor to work.
I used to do that when I had meningitis about 6 or 7 years ago. I was really sick, and because I used to get swelling in my spine up near my my neck, basically. And the only thing that made it comfortable to sit down was one of those space hopper type balls. I was actually working in Airbnb at the time, which is kind of funny.
Yoga ball.
But yeah, yoga ball. I was working in Airbnb, and you just see my head bouncing up and down like a pregnant lady. That was pretty funny. Yeah, because it was literally me and the few pregnant ladies there that were on the bouncing balls. I loved it.
I actually had a yoga ball that I used. Then I bought a yoga ball chair, which is like a chair with, it's got little wheels on it, and it's a smaller ball.
Then I've seen those.
Yeah, it was really nice, except for it didn't help a whole lot. I literally had 3 chairs to move around in and then lay on the floor. But I couldn't have been able to physically do a deposition for 7 hours because I would have had to take massive amounts of narcotic pain medicine, which then
that would have just put you at a disadvantage as well.
Well, that also makes it not valid because you're under oath. Well, if you're under the influence, you can't testify. And he was pissed about that because he thought it was like a restraining order. He actually bragged about how I filed this order of protection, so therefore I'm super scared of him. It was like, no, I can't sit there for 7 hours and you to ask your fucking stupid ass questions that have nothing to do with what you're suing me about. Yeah. So my answer, I say my attorney wrote this, that the allegations contained therein leaves the plaintiff to their strictest proof. Get to that page. Is that it? Page 3, I think. I can't see the screen. Yeah, it's page 3. So the defendant further states that while defendant did author this post, it was not in the Nevada Court Watchers groups. Oh, I think he might have said it was in that group. It was on a page ran by the plaintiff in a post where he was harassing another member of NCW, who is a family court attorney and is now a sitting judge in Clark County. The defendant made these statements because she finally got fed up with the months of bullying and belittling from the plaintiff and others believed to have been antagonized by plaintiff, or may even been fake accounts set up by the plaintiff to continue to intimidate and or harass defendant as she keeps blocking plaintiff. And the next thing she knows, he is attacking her again under a new social media account. Defendant would have filed a counter complaint against plaintiff in this matter. However, based upon the fact that according to his family court judge's decision and order in Clark County, Nevada District Court, blah, 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 plaintiff cannot even pay his spousal and or child support. And as of December 2020, when said decision and order was entered, the last payment had been a partial payment in December of 2019. All statements were true and correct to the best of the defendant's knowledge and recollection at the time. Defendant further states that many of the statements are based upon the court's decision and order in Clark County. Then other statements were based upon either plaintiff's own actions and or statements made by plaintiff to defendant and or others, including but not limited to lawyers and or judges via social media, including but not limited to Facebook Messenger. So he did create other Facebook accounts. He had created a Facebook account with my photo, but someone else's name, saying that I am from Hell, Michigan, which is literally, there is a Hell, Michigan. It's a place. But I mean, and I only found out about that account because he messaged me. But he likes to say that there's never been any contact. So
can I just point something out real quick?
Yeah.
You just hit a new level on YouTube.
What?
You have the adult dating site bots in the side chat. That's a good sign.
Yes.
Yep.
Hell yes.
Look at that.
Yeah.
That's it. They seem to follow me around. I don't know what they're trying to get at here, but
yeah, but they're like in
seem to
Judge
follow me around a
Simpson's
little bit.
chat too.
Well, there you
They
go.
are in
You're on Judge Simpson's level too. That's cool.
Yes.
Go on. He's awesome, man.
Shout out to Irish Demon for bringing you guys up. Oh, thank you, James. I got a couple new people that subscribed. Yeah, so the Tinder hotness, whatever, tried to post again. And Daramid, yes, it is spam.
Hey, Costello in the house, giving me grief all week. That fella. Do you know what's really funny? I when I was coming back today in the tow truck with the tow driver, he was really cool. He was so funny. We did a live stream on the way down the road, and
I saw it. I haven't watched it.
A comment. Oh, it was so funny. Costello passed some kind of a comment, and the driver turned around, really thick accent. He was like, "Hey, you tell Costello," whatever it was he said. It was just really funny the way he said it. It was fucking awesome. He was the driver. He was like a 60-something-year-old dude. He really cool guy. And he's like what we call a Gael Gore, which is somebody who speaks kind of half English, half Irish. And he was roasting Diarmuid Costello the whole way down the road. It was really funny.
Good. No, I'm just kidding.
Because Diarmuid Costello is a Dublin man, and we don't like Dublin men.
Oh, man.
I know, we don't mind them. They're all right.
That is some, what is that called? Rivalry.
It's old-time rivalry. Oh, yeah. Cork,
Apparently.
where I come from, and Dublin were kind of arch nemesis, because there's a saying in Ireland, right? The capital at the moment is Dublin. It used to be Limerick back in the day, and we say Limerick was, Dublin is, and Cork will be. So your time is coming, Dublin. Simple as that. It's the greatest city in Ireland. There's no question about it. Cork is an awesome city. If anybody ever goes to Ireland, it's a great place to go. The city is lovely. It's very laid back, very chill, and then like 4 or 5 minute drive out of the city, you're in the deep countryside, Blarney Castle, and all those beautiful stuff. It's
that sounds like heaven.
Oh, it's awesome. And Alice is from whereabouts are you from again, Alice? Geez, the Irish crowd are out in for us tonight. Diarmuid claims he's from Cork, and he's only saying that because he thinks it's cool because I'm from Cork.
He says, "And I'm from Cork, here for my sins."
Exactly, and that's what you get for going to Dublin. I think Diarmuid's going to be down my way. I think he said next week, so we're going to meet up and go for a beer or something somewhere.
Nice.
Even though he's a dub, it's fine. I'll accept his. Oh, actually, Diarmuid, you know where we could go? Sorry now for taking over the stream to arrange a date with Diarmuid, but Diarmuid, we should go to the Franciscan Well. Oh, the Limerick men were great men too. Oh, you're from Farranree? No way. That's like only around the corner from where my dad's from. I was in Farranree this morning, strangely enough. Ah, there you go now. Small world.
I told Mr. C that you would possibly be joining, but you had to drive to the other side of the country for parts, and he goes, "What, man. the whole 2 hours?"
I resent that. Right. So from where I live, I had to drive. So I was supposed to get my dad's SUV to go up and pick up my parts. What he neglected to tell me was him and my mom were at a wedding last night in the city. So I had to drive all the way up to the city. Oh, no. So it's like in the wrong direction as well, which sucks. Get the SUV and then start hitting the road. And it was like just over halfway there, feckin' died. So yeah. It was a 2.5 hour drive that turned into a 8 or 9 hour drive. And then another couple hours of trying to fix the feckin' thing. So but it's up and running now. We need to change the starter motor now tomorrow, so we should be grand.
See, I can make jokes like this because I have my adopted English family. When I was a baby, my mom's sister and brother-in-law were in the Navy, and they were stationed in London. And across the street from them was this wonderful couple with their daughter. And they sort of adopted me when I was a baby. So they were I call them Nan and Granddad, and they refer to me as their granddaughter. And their actual granddaughter, Charlotte, her and I are sisters. That's what we say. We've grown up as sisters. And they were here several years ago, and we drove to we went to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, and that's like a 4-hour drive. And they kept saying, God, because they live in Bognor Regis. So going from the south side of England all the way up to like Scotland, they were like, like I think Glasgow, they're like, yeah, that's same drive. So our whole state fits essentially the UK. So that's what.
You know, it's funny you say that because when I was in Texas, I didn't realize how big Texas. I knew it was big, but I didn't know it was as big as that. And I was staying with Johnny O. I was staying with Team Skeptic, and we were out for the day with Johnny O. And I wanted to go to Amarillo. And the reason I wanted to go there is this really famous song. I can hear Costello singing it in his head from here. Is this the way to Amarillo? A really famous song over these parts, right? And I said to the boys, I want to go to Amarillo because I want to be able to say, I found it. And then Irish people would think that's hilarious. And UK people would think it's hilarious. And then that'd be it. Nobody else would get it. But they said, Amarillo is like fucking 8 hours away. I was like, what? I was like, it's in Texas, right? And they're like, yeah. And we're at the other side of Texas. It's like, it can't be that big, man. Come on. And then we settled on, I don't even need to go to Amarillo. Technically, based on the song, I just need to find a sign that points the direction to Amarillo so I can say, is this the way to Amarillo? Yes, it is. I literally found.
That's actually good. You're fine.
Sorry, I just lost the bet.
Oh, we both have ADHD.
Oh, hold on a second. Costello. Oh, I'll have to get you on for the ADD show some night. We're gonna have myself and I haven't actually said it to him yet. Well, I said it to him ages ago, but we were doing different things for ages. But I'm thinking about doing an ADD stream with Brainy Beaver, now known as Beaver Zero. He is arguably worse than me. Oh, he's awesome. He was on the Four Beards.
No. Is he as fucking sexy as you?
As what?
Is he as fucking sexy as you?
Hell
sexy
no.
bastard?
I am prettier. I am prettier than this man. Don't get me wrong. He's a handsome Canadian. He's handsome for Canadians. Sorry, Canadians. I think he's Canadian. Fuck. I hope he's Canadian now that I've said it. Oh no, he is. Yeah, because he says sorry. And no, he's a handsome bloke. He's very funny. He's very he is. There's two people on YouTube that I think are the two funniest YouTubers out there at the moment, taking everyone into account, even the big YouTubers. And they are Beaver Zero is hilarious. He is absolutely hilarious. He's one of them. The other one is another friend of mine, the Triggered Limey.
I did start watching him.
Hilarious.
He is funny. He is funny.
If you get a chance, right? There's one video, and I know he won't mind you playing it if you I know he won't mind you playing it if you wanted to. On his channel, there's a video he made in response to Dr. Dave when he came at me that time. And it is the most brutal teardown of a human being that I've ever seen. It's the master roast. The guy is just immensely funny. He's working hard to get the channel up and running. He's doing a great job. And his created content in particular is brilliant. But it's great to listen to his streams because it's just like you're just sitting there chilling with your buddy, you know? He's really funny. He's really,
I've watched some of his stuff. I highly recommend him. I've watched a couple of his things, and I was definitely laughing. Oh, Shizzle said, "Don't try to take my man." What the fuck? Dude, Shizzle, it's done.
Oh, Brainy Beaver is her man.
Oh. I thought she's talking about you.
She must be talking about... I would say she must be talking about Brainy Beaver. She's got to be.
I don't know. Yeah, ADHD is a bitch. But I've had it my whole life. It is.
So. Like, I've often said, like, I don't suffer with ADHD. Everybody around me suffers with it. You know what I mean? Because they have to put up with my stuff.
Yeah. Someone's, Dearman said something about OCD. My husband has OCD. He's actually on the autism spectrum. It drives me bonkers. It does. It's hard.
It can be challenging. Yeah. It can be challenging for sure. Like, it depends on its manifestation. Sometimes it's really great because it means all the dishes get done and things are kept in. Like, I'm the opposite of OCD. Like, my studio right now, I spend hours getting this place sorted out the other day, and then I was looking for a needle today for doing some stitching and destroyed the place looking for the needle.
That's ADHD.
I made a really nice belt, and I had to stitching leather is tough going, so I had to yeah, oh, it's a pain in the ass. So I got to get this place
Yeah.
sorted out. I'm away for the whole weekend though, so I can't get anything done today.
You'd love my house because my husband has, it's like a hand crank industrial sewing machine for leather and canvas.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome. I'd love something like that.
I have a collection of antique sewing machines, like cabinet machines, and I collect stuff. I collect sewing machines and spinning wheels and fiber
I saw
processing
your
equipment.
electric spinning wheel.
Mm-hmm. I actually did
I
a
saw
live
that
stream
video
of
of you
me
using that in
spinning.
the car.
Yes, I was. We were up north.
Oh,
Yep. And then I did
was
a
spinning
live.
before.
Really?
Yeah. But I decided after that I'd never take MDMA again. That was the end of that.
No. Did you get that from He Who Shall Not Be Named? Oh wait, no, that was
I got it
something
from
else.
a really strange source.
Oh, that's
Really
not
strange source. Yeah, it was an accident too. I didn't know. I thought it was paracetamol. That's actually, funnily enough, right? This story I've told people on the live stream before, but this was before I was getting a lot of people watching my streams and stuff like that. So I'll tell it here because people might get a good buzz out of this one. So I won't say who I was living with at the time. It was a family member. It's hard to explain. Not a blood relative, and she's much older than me. Like, there's nothing going on, that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Just because everybody says it every time that it wasn't an accident. It was an accident. So what happened was, I came home from work. I had a really bad headache, and I was like, "Do you have any paracetamol, please? Like Tylenol or whatever." So
I
whatever.
would say just for the Americans,
like,
paracetamol is Tylenol.
Oh, it is. Yeah, it's the same thing, is it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is.
Oh, okay. Good. So yeah, I was asking her if she had any of those, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I think I do." Not the best vision in the world. So her husband at the time had a very severe heart problem. And one of the medications they give people who have extremely low blood pressure is Viagra.
Yep.
Now, it's not the little diamond-shaped blue pills.
No, that's actually
like
what it was
pills.
developed for.
Exactly. So it was these little regular white pills, look like paracetamol pills. So she handed me, she was like, "Oh yeah, there they are," and she handed me 2 of those out of this tub. I was like, "Cool, thanks." Knocked it back with a cup of coffee, and about a half an hour later, I was thinking, you know what? I don't think these paracetamol are working. If anything, it's making it worse. It's like my headache's getting worse and worse. And then I went into bed for a little while. Needless to say, they kicked in, and the headache didn't go away, and it got worse and worse and worse. And then to add insult to potential injury at that point, there was a knock at the door, and we all had to go outside because there was something going on outside or whatever. Oh, no. And I was stuck inside the bed. I was like, "Guys, I can't go out." They're like, "Why?" I was like, "I literally can't explain it at this moment in time." So yeah, I was spiked by accident with Viagra, and I had a headache because I had really bad sunburn. So it technically did work because it kept the sheets off my legs.
That's true. And the reason it made it worse is because it increased your blood pressure, which is why it made your head hurt worse.
Exactly. Oh, it got so much worse. Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't put them up. Yeah. So that was like the basis of the answer. Now we're going back to my shit. Okay.
Go for it.
If you hear snoring, it's my dogs. Seriously, it's my dogs.
I'm used to that with my 2, yeah.
Take that one off. Okay. So this was, I have to move forward to read it. The interrogatories and discovery is where, like, you have to, I don't know if you guys have that, but it's essentially like a list of questions or a demand for documents that they make. And this is where my case got really weird. Like, well, I knew it was weird, but oh, come on. Turn on. I have my other laptop so I can read the documents better. What are you doing? So my stalker, Todd Matthew Phillips, and yes, he's a stalker according to Michigan law.
So what's the definition there, actually? Sorry, because I'm not really too well up on that.
Yeah. Trying trying to go back. I think. No, she didn't include it in this. So in Michigan, stalking is harassing. So like bothering me on social media, physically following me, using my pictures, that's all considered stalking in Michigan.
Right,
And
right, okay,
the
I
big
get you now.
part of it is he was going on to my social media and leaving comments on my posts, like on my personal page, mocking me. Like, I mean, so I have a spinal cord stimulator, and the generator is in my left hip, and I was in a couple groups that dealt with stimulators, and someone was like, "Oh, what does it look like?" So I took a picture of the incision, and I was like, "Yeah, it's here." But okay, I have what we jokingly refer to as a flat Irish ass or no acetal disease. So that's what I call it. So
What was that again? Sorry, I missed that there. My headphones are acting funny.
I have a flat Irish ass, and
Oh,
I call it no acetal disease. And yes, my mom is Scotch Irish.
no acetal. I like that.
So yeah, I inherited it from my mom.
Oh, okay, that makes sense now.
Yes, I inherited it. But like he took photos from my pages, and the one where I had the waistband of my pants pulled down, and the caption literally is like, "What the fuck, an overstuffed sausage or some shit." Like really disgusting
bastard.
things. Like seriously, he took pictures of I had breast cancer when I was 15 months old, and the tumor was removed then. And then at 14, I made the decision to have reconstructive surgery. In 2019, I explanted to flat aesthetic closure, and I had a picture of me literally in the recovery room where, like, I showed because I had written on my chest, "It's this one with an arrow down," like as a joke to the surgeon, and I had posted a picture of it. I don't remember posting a picture because I was under heavy medication. But then he took that photo and was mocking me for it. It's literally like, what the fuck, dude? He had found an article from the Daily Mail from I don't know how many years ago that talked about my brain injury and like my memory issues. And he posted that, and he made the comment that she's so brain damaged she can't even remember the name of her dogs, but she can remember to go on Nevada Court Watchers and post things about me every day or something. Like, dude, not even true. My dogs are Fritz and Luna. I'm not going to forget their names unless I'm yelling at them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he's just an asshole in my opinion, and he can fuck right off. So when it came to the discovery stuff, he was demanding that I tell him, like, that I'm in cahoots with Alex Falconi from our Nevada judges, that I'm getting paid. I'm being paid by this family court cabal or whatever. Like, that's his thing, is family courts are corrupt. And so he knows and has evidence of me being paid to harass family court litigants online. I still want to know who's supposed to pay me because I haven't got this. What? Still there?
Oh, yeah, I'm still here.
You were going to say something.
I actually forgot what I was going to say.
Probably going to ask, who is this guy?
No, there was something came into my head, and I was like, oh my God, that's weird that it just completely left my head. Oh my God.
Like who shall not be named?
Yeah, it just, like, it was there 1 minute, and then, God almighty. It's been a long day, I suppose. That's probably why.
Yeah, no, I get it. No, see, for me, like, the similarities in the case is scary. I mean, definitely the situation is not the same, but, like, the same line of thinking and, like, all this other stuff, it's like, what the hell? Like, where do these people get these ideas from? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And Alex has been saying he didn't know if he thought like he knew, but now he's kind of questioning if TMP actually thinks what he's saying is real. But I don't know.
Yeah, that always catches me out. Well, I wouldn't say always. Depends on the person, but there's times where I listen to what somebody's saying. I'm thinking, do they truly believe it, or do they want us to believe that? You get me?
Yeah. And I think part of it is like, if you say it often enough, it becomes fact, which isn't true. But I think that might be part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's like they're almost trying to convince themselves that it is true, because I need everybody else to think it's true.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. So yeah, I mean, there's so many more documents. I got to figure out how I can get them all online. Yeah, anything you post online can and will be used against you. You're right, Chisel. That is true.
Oh yeah.
But to be used against me in the manner that he did it is disgusting. I mean, mocking me for my brain injury? Like, what the fuck? Like, that is...
Yeah, that's fucked up.
It is. And, like, he even started going after my attorney. Like, he had found a picture of her. For context, she was good friends with Beth Chapman and Dog the Bounty Hunter, and it was a photo of her and her husband with them because they had been in Hawaii and they had gone out to eat or whatever. But my attorney is not skinny either, and I love her to death. She is seriously a wonderful attorney. But he had used her photos and had made the comments, disgusting pig, so fucking gross or something. Like, he turned around and was attacking my attorney in the same way he had been attacking me. And, I mean, this, as I keep saying, he's unhinged. I don't think he's mentally well. I don't.
Oh yeah, no, evidently, yeah. He seems to be a little bit kind of, I can't quite put my finger on it. When I was listening to it earlier, relatively broken because of the headphone situation, but from the little bits that I did catch, he came across as very kind of childlike or something, you know?
Yes. That is, and that's what it's like he throws a temper tantrum when he gets to court. Essentially.
Yeah, it's like it's all talk before he gets there, and then when he's actually there, it's just like wah.
Yeah. So ultimately the judge dismissed his lawsuit against me. We had filed 2 motions, which was a motion for a surety of cost and a motion for an order of protection, which he thought the order of protection was like a restraining order because he was then bragging that I was afraid of him.
Yeah.
Not the case. I physically could not sit through a deposition for 7 hours, and at least not without a lot of pain medicine. And the other thing is he had scheduled the deposition in like a place 3 counties away, so Grand Rapids. I live by Lansing, Michigan. He scheduled it for Grand Rapids, Michigan, which is an hour away, knowing that my attorney gets paid for travel time. You do? But, like, he knows an attorney gets paid for traveling. Fritz, you want back up? No, you're fine. Sorry, he wants a SNACK.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind one of those too, actually. Yeah. I know. I was just like before. You know when you're really tired and you're just like you don't know what you want, but you want something. I know what I want to eat, but I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's brutal.
Luna, did you want down to? Here, you can have your girlfriend, bud. Yeah, so he like didn't bother to check the court rules that you have to do a deposition in the county that the person lives in. And he had scheduled it for November 5th of last year. Made a post about it. Saying, oh, is she going to show up? He then also sent a link or a screenshot of the post to at least one other person that was in the Nevada Court Watchers group saying, oh, you need to post this. So then he is there now reaching out to a third-party person to harass me.
Sorry, I didn't catch that last bit there. I coughed and it did something to my headphones. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I have to bring these headphones back to the store. He was reaching
out. Yeah. I got my microphone in today. I don't know. I think it's okay.
It sounds pretty good. No, what kind of microphone is it?
I don't know. It's a $15 microphone from Amazon. It's MRSDY.
It actually, I think it sounds really great. I really do. Hey, Goosebumps in there.
No,
hey, dear McCostello, don't you be mocking my tech skills, boyo.
I think we're probably about par for tech skills.
I don't know about that. I'm pretty bad.
So am I. Fritz or Luna, you two. So yeah, like he had reached out to a third-party person asking them to post this, I guess, meme, whatever, about the deposition on the Facebook group that we were in. So for him to say, oh, there's never been any contact, I'm not harassing her. Dude, you literally reached out to someone else to have her post it. Like, that's, according to Michigan law, that is stalking. Fritz, calm down. So, yeah, he claims there was no, like, we didn't know each other, blah, blah, blah. But the thing is he started it. And I hate saying, like, he started it. It wasn't like a competition. But it happened because of him. Like, he initiated contact. But
and did that contact stop at any point, or?
He has not posted anything since the day before our hearing about me. But one of the things that my attorney pointed out. Is it
still ongoing, or?
So the judge dismissed the case because she had ordered the surety bond for $5,000, which happened to be the retainer fee for my attorney. He did not pay the bond. It was, as I put it, it was a pay up or shut up. He didn't like that, so the judge dismissed the case because he didn't do it. Then he appealed that to the Court of Appeals, which is the next step up. We had filed the response to his appeal, but then filed a motion to affirm. So it was asking the higher court to affirm the decision of the lower court, or the circuit court, that dismissed the case. And we were set up to do, we were going to have to go to oral arguments, which oral arguments in Michigan are in person. So he would have had to come here. And Alex from our Nevada judges was going to come here and live stream.
Was that written or oral?
Which part? The motions?
So did he, sorry, what's the word I'm looking for? So was he, compelled to make written arguments as well, or just oral?
So yeah, in the Court of Appeals,
just oral.
Oh no! So in the U.S., you file a notice to appeal. Then the appellant will file what they're appealing, laying out their case as to why they're appealing the decision. Then the appellee or whatever. So then I had to hire the appellate lawyers. So then they wrote a response, and then they have a chance to write a rebuttal response. And they can request for oral arguments. Whether or not that's granted is up to the court. But we had requested it. But everything that he did was not done correctly. He didn't even file things on time. He didn't file things timely. He had called and asked for an extension, didn't file by the extension date, so submitted another request for an extension. Literally dragging it out as long as possible. And when we did our response, he actually had to redo his initial brief because he didn't do it right. The courts told him, nope, this isn't proper. You need to redo it. So we filed our response brief, and then we filed the motion to affirm, which we were actually granted oral arguments. They don't normally grant oral arguments. So they had said we could do oral arguments, but then couple weeks ago, we got the order that came down that the Court of Appeals upheld the decision to dismiss the case. And they said essentially it was like his claim had nothing, like there was nothing to the answer. I mean, I don't know who the hell called me because I'm not reading or not. I don't know, someone called me. It's probably my husband. Okay. So, oh, hurry up and download. Come on. My phone is. My internet hates me.
Oh, story of my life. I still haven't ordered Starlink.
Yeah, my sister actually. My sister has Starlink. I love it at her house. It's so fast, and they live in the middle of nowhere. Okay, so the order states the motion to affirm pursuant to MCR 7. Yeah, I love it. It's super fast.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to get it.
I'd be like, yeah, I want
it's worth it in the long run, right? Yeah, I'm seriously considering
so
it now
like,
this week.
I guess the
now
main
that I haven't been able
expense
to buy my fucking car parts.
Yeah, the big cost is the equipment and then the initial installation or whatever. But then the month to month, I guess, isn't bad.
It's not too bad.
So it's the motion. No, the motion to affirm pursuant to MCR 7.211C3 is granted for the reason that the question to be reviewed is so unsubstantial as to need no argument or formal submission. So the Court of Appeals literally said it's unsubstantial and it doesn't even need submission, which it's a big nothing burger. Literally. When I didn't get that email right away. I didn't check my email. And when I got it, I was like jumping up and down and I was so excited. I was so happy. And I told my husband, and literally like 2 minutes later, I was calling Alex Falconi. I was like, Alex, oh my God. Because like I've been talking to him the whole time, because he has been dealing with him for a while now. But Luna, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Oh, she's eating. So.
Oh, I thought you were talking to me. I was like, damn, what am I doing?
No, Luna, she's eating. Yeah, so it's like this. It's been over a year now, and he's dragged it out by not doing things properly. One of the complaints he made was that the judge dismissed the case without actually having a hearing, so he didn't get to argue his case.
And I guess indubitably, it's going to end up in a situation where it's just going to get thrown out. So it's just a waste of time in the meantime, right?
Yeah. Well, he knows he's like he had posted bragging about how it's going to cost money because I'm going to get an attorney. But then he mocked me because I got an attorney. Yeah, I got an attorney because I don't know the law. So of course I hired an attorney because I'm like, I don't know this is fucking weird. My attorney, she's all like, this is fucking weird. I've never seen anything like this. Like, nobody has seen a case like this, which was part of the reason why I was okay if it went to oral arguments, because it's a precedent-setting case. It still is. Even though the Court of Appeals upheld the lower decision, it still is setting precedents because I got sued over a comment on Facebook. So
that's nuts.
It is crazy. And the reason I even made the comment in the first place is because he sent me a message. You cut out.
I just got the original comment again.
You want the original comment? Oh, come on. My answering machine's about to go off. I forgot to turn it off.
There to see what is with that one there.
Yeah. It was. Do I still have it? Yeah.
Hi, you have reached Securus Hazard. Please.
Hold on, I'm going to mute that real quick. Okay, sorry. I find my voice extremely annoying. I think everyone finds
I hate
their own
hearing
voice
back streams.
Yeah. What's going on?
Yeah, I just from my own voice. every now and again.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's backlight, very kind of like
Yeah.
you get a bit of a shock.
Yeah. See, I sing, and I always like what is this doing? I literally clicked on the page, and it won't go to the page. I'm using StreamYard. I've never used it before. It's really weird.
I like StreamYard. I think it's pretty good. It's good because you just click on what you want to do. Like I used to use OBS, and it was just too complicated. Well, it wasn't too complicated. It was just too. There was too much involved.
Yeah. Yeah. I tried that with Alex with our Nevada judges because I was going to work on editing videos for them, but I can't. I cannot. OBS is crazy. So I think we're on the right one.
And
yes.
you
Okay, so the original
Mac
comment.
C or what kind do you have at the moment?
My husband's laptop is a Chromebook, and then I have whatever Windows. It's a Packard Bell. My phone, I have an iPhone though, so I kind of use all of them.
See, I just use all Apple.
I'm poor. I can't afford a Mac.
The connectability is great on them. You'd be
poor,
surprised. Like an older Mac is, they're not crazy. The older ones aren't crazy money. Even a MacBook Air, they're fantastic.
Yeah. Well, if I hadn't been sued, I could have used that money to buy a fucking new computer. I could have bought like 12 of them.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly it. That's kind of all they do when they do get your money away from you. Just try to make life as they can for you.
Yeah. Okay, you keep cutting out. Okay. Who is News Now? NME? Is that guy from yesterday? Weird. Okay.
Who is it?
You cut out Irish. You wanted me to read the original.
Is it NME or? Oh yeah, I think
NME. Yeah, News Now.
The guy last
NME.
night. The guy deleted all videos actually. Well, most of his videos. From what I could tell, I had a look at his channel. Oh, we just got a big flash. Oh, I think that might explain it. We just had a massive flash of lightning outside, so I think it's probably the another storm coming in. It looks like anyway. We've been having some rough weather here, and it lasts for like a half an hour, 40 minutes, then it goes away, and then it's back again. It's a pain.
See, that sounds like heaven to me.
It is nice.
So okay,
like
so the comment, my original.
I put up with. Oh, sorry. Yeah, go ahead. Okay.
So my original comment, and this was on a post for someone that's a sitting judge in Nevada, and he was literally attributed a fake quote to her, saying that she's an anti-vaxxer and she's not, and she kept saying like, "Stop! You need to stop. This is not. I didn't say this. Stop saying this. That I'm saying this." And like I was just like, Jesus Christ, she's still doing this. So I made this comment. T. Matthew Phillips is a hack, a liar, a wife beater. He has threatened to shoot up his child's school. He goes around suing everyone, but has yet to win a single case. He is a vile creature that loves to stalk others, stealing their photos, doctoring them how he wants, attributes quotes to the person that had never said anything like that. He loves to hide behind his computer and harass and threaten others. One of his favorite things to do is to call women cunts and tell them how he is going to destroy them and fuck them up. Sorry for the cursing, Mary, but it's what he says. He will message you and say nasty shit that I just said, making fun of your weight, gender, sexuality, disability, etc. Then he instantly turns around and blocks you, which is funny because he just unsuccessfully tried to take the sitting judge on his divorce case to federal district court because he claims the judge blocked him on Facebook. Priceless. And everything was dismissed with prejudice.
I would love to see that.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God. Yeah, I think I can find the documents. Alex knows, he has them better. You say everything was dismissed. Okay. He knew it Thursday when the ruling came down, yet he was still bragging about how the federal courts were going to find in his favor. TMP has absolutely no footing in reality. He is completely unhinged. And after he blocks you, he creates multiple fake profiles and messages you from them. Which he does. So the whole Thursday, it was like the earlier that week or the next week, the decision had come down from the Supreme Court dismissing his case. But he was still talking and posting on Facebook about how he was winning. And that's the thing, like, he will sue the shit out of anybody. Because, yeah, you can sue anybody for anything. But then he will file so many motions that you can't really go anywhere. And then he just abandons the case. And I actually thought that's what he was going to do after he lost, after the court threw out his lower case. But he didn't. And, like, the really weird thing is he has, like, a mailbox, like it's at a FedEx store, like, so a post box.
Yeah.
That's his address in Las Vegas. Well, after the judge dismissed his case, he filed a change of address to a location in Michigan.
So he was living in. I'm confused. So was he originally living in Michigan or?
No, he's from Nevada. We looked it up, and it's a commercial building, and it looks like I guess they have a lot of attorneys there. I didn't look it up. My attorney did, and it's what she told me. Is it's like basically a office full of attorneys. So he is renting a suite number, but she's thinking it's probably more like a mailbox. But the fact of the matter is like he's saying he's never been to Michigan. He has no connection to Michigan, but he turns around and uses a Michigan mailing address. Which one of the things he complained about is I have no connection to Nevada or Las Vegas. Really, dude? Because that's what you're doing here. And like one of the things we had asked for, like he was arguing First Amendment rights, like his right to free speech. And the judge called him out. She's like, I agree in part, but then on the other hand, she also has her right to free speech. The judge took him to task, which I absolutely loved. Like, I was playing a video where, like, the judges will yell at him. I wish I would have been allowed to record the hearing because she yelled at him a couple times. And she threatened to sanction him for calling me disparaging things in court on the record. Like, he called me a wackadoodle hypochondriac or something, or a wacko hypochondriac. I have his initial motion, which the judge dismissed, but allowed him to like edit it and try and submit it again because nothing was to conformity. He didn't do anything right, and he didn't bother to look is the big problem. But like one of the things I think that he got off on the most, I think what he got off on the most through this whole thing is I have CPTSD, so complex post-traumatic stress disorder, right? We're talking abuse that started when I was 2-3 years old, okay? And that person's head, like their voice is in my head, and it doesn't necessarily happen for no reason, but something will start it, and I just hear that person's head saying this shit to me over and over, and that triggers my PTSD. I had to go on anxiety medication to manage my PTSD for the first time ever because it got to where I couldn't log onto Facebook without like having a panic attack, all this other stuff. And I think he got off on that he was causing it, but he wasn't. He wasn't the one that was causing me to have PTSD. But I know he got off on that. Like I sincerely believe that was a power trip for him. But whatever. I mean, like, because he was emailing my attorney multiple times a day. So every time I go to check my email, like I'd have a notification. It was just like, oh, like to the point where there was one day that I almost collapsed to the floor because it caught me so fast, so off guard. And actually earlier when we were sitting here, you were talking. And I was literally like breathing because I was starting to dissociate. Just talking about this is scary for me because I don't want him to come back and sue me again. But here's the thing. If he does, we're literally going to do the same thing again with motions. Like, he's not going to win.
Yeah, that's it. And you got to fight that kind of
that's
stuff.
kind of scary. Yeah, and there's probably going to be some repercussions. He's going to post about me, whatever. The dude can't do anything worse than what I've already survived, and that includes my ex trying to kill me, the person that abused me my whole life, saying nasty shit and how I never should have been born, they never wanted me, blah, blah, blah. Like, dude can't do anything worse. Bottom line. I just get to deal with the repercussions of it. But he needs to be stopped. That's why I'm talking about it. Because when he first messaged me, like, he was commenting, I Googled him, and I stopped going back further than 2008. Because there's like, I found where he was on some sort of like a radio podcast show with white supremacists or something. And they didn't agree with him about like anti-vax or something. And so like literally he was saying sort of the same things he said to me. I've seen where he said this to different groups of people. It's like literally he just recycles his words.
Yeah, it seems like that.
I am not.
Yeah, he just has this kind of propensity thing, you know.
Yes, he gets his shits and giggles suing people, but I'm not gonna let him do this to other people anymore. Like, I get asked, why did it happen to you? It happens to me because I can handle it. That's why. So I want to stop him. I did that with my case here. That sets up precedents for other states. I'm going to start working on getting a vexatious litigant statute here in Michigan because we don't have anything like that. We don't have this anti-slap, none of that.
Really?
I'm going to work on getting that in place.
Is there any federal law for that, I wonder? Or would that only be applicable if you were at federal level, or? I wonder.
So it's kind of weird. Like, federal sets like the basic standards. States can like narrow those down, but they can't expand or make broader than what the federal government has said. It's really strange. It's kind of like the UK. Like, Scotland's a country, Wales is a country, Northern Ireland is supposedly a country.
Yeah, well, I mean,
so
legally it is, yeah.
They have all the overarching laws. Yeah, they have the overarching laws, but then each state can do their own thing. And I always joke, Michigan is a country unto itself because we're not like other states. Like, each state does things different. So I don't think we have any federal statutes on it, but it's new. Oh, Shizzle said, if you want me on, you've got to answer the phone, bruh. Just so you know.
Is that who was buzzing me? What's that about? Hold on, I'm just going to check real quick because we are
apparently.
waiting on. We've got something big going down at the moment. Just give me 1 second.
So we need to end this and go to yours.
I don't know if I can go live just yet. Just give me 1 sec here now.
Sorry, my dog.
We're working on something epic at the moment. And we've been waiting on a particular phone call. Oh, yep, that's the one. That's the one. Wait out. Is that what you want, Shiz? That one. We have to be very cagey about how we say it, just in case certain people might be listening. You never know.
I understand.
Give me 1 second here now.
Well, essentially, okay, so there's really not any laws or rules about this other than, like, I know Nevada and California have something, but it's different than the situation that I've been in. And he's suing people in Nevada for literally the same comment, sort of, about the whole threatening to shoot up his kid's school. He had made a post that it was like the opening of a lawsuit, and he says, if I get 7 likes, I'm going to sue this person.
What?
So,
are you serious? 7 likes and you'll sue somebody?
He made a post. I am dead serious. Yes, dead fucking serious. He said, if this post gets 7 likes, I'm going to sue them. Yeah, I want to make it so that can't happen to other people. You know, that's all.
Crazy. Like, would that be a good enough reason to get something booted out of court? You get me?
I don't know. I don't know
steady
Nevada
yourself now, Diarmuid.
laws, so I don't know. By the way, Thumper's mom says the federal statute was admitted into the House for consideration this fall. So I'm guessing like a vexatious litigant or anti-SLAPP stuff. I hope. Yeah, it's not. It's going to take years. Even if they vote and pass it, it's going to take years to go into effect. But yeah. So I'm going to talk more about it, and I got to figure out how to share the documents because I want it to be a blueprint for anyone else that has to go through the shit. You know, like, hey, this is how you deal with this.
How do you go about? How do you actually go about? Introducing a bill like that. Like, what's the actual? Does it have to go through your Congress, your state Congress, or your state Senate, or?
Yes. Yeah. It goes
Okay.
well for
So you'd have
federal.
to get,
It
like, a
goes through
senator on
the
board or something.
Congress.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Senate and the Congress. But for state, yeah, you can go through your local representatives and get it all the way up to the state. The funny thing is I live 3 miles from the governor. I actually know the governor, and one of the other speakers got kicked off the House floor for saying vagina when they were talking about women's reproductive issues. So
What?
she got kicked out of
that's
the
kind of-
session for saying yes. Yeah, for using the term. So I literally stood on the steps of our state capitol with our now governor shouting vagina. Because we had Eve Ensler, who wrote the vagina monologues. She.
Sorry, now just give me one quick sec. I just got a message about shit. Okay. I've got to go take care of this. I don't know if I can go live with it tonight. It might be tomorrow or oh no shit, I can't do tomorrow because I'll be away. Might be Monday. Yeah. It's going to be epic.
No,
I'll
you're
give
gonna
you
make
the
us wait till
inside
Monday.
line. I think so.
Yeah.
But he might not be ready till Monday anyway. I want to do that so bad. Damn.
Yeah. It was because you have Apple.
Okay,
you can
cool.
like iMessage me, right? Even though I'm in another country.
Oh yeah, I think so. I tried this the other day, and one of my mates lives in Colorado. He messaged me allegedly, and it never comes through. Same when my brother in England messages me. I never get them through, and I asked about it, and apparently it's because of my SIM card. I don't know how true that is or not, but.
I know I FaceTime with my sister in England. So, I don't know. Someone wants apple pie. I love apple pie.
What's apple pie? As in the food, like?
Yeah, the food.
Oh, yeah, we call
apple
that... what was it we call it? Apple tart, we call it. Oh, shit. Okay, I got to take this call. Is that okay? This is going to be really important.
I'll see you later. Okay, I'll see you later.
It was a blast. And, yeah, we got to do it again.
Thanks for coming on, man.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you so much for having me. And I'll fill you in on what's going on with this one. I gotta fill Shiz in on some stuff, and then I'll get back to you over the next couple of days. Oh, well, I'll get back to you tonight. I'll let you know roughly what's happening.
All right.
Cool. Talk to you later.
All right. I'll see you later.
Bye. See you, everybody.
Okay.
Take care.
Bye. So, yay, thank you, Irish. That was awesome. It's fun having him on. So, I'm gonna kick him out. Yeah, I kicked him. So, yeah, that's like the basis of the case. The appellate court upheld the lower court's decision. I guess he can appeal the order up to uphold. I don't know. I am not an appellate attorney. I don't know. I literally called both sets of my attorneys to ask if I could finally talk about it now. Diarmuid, I did kick him. Am I saying it right? Diarmuid? I think I'm saying it right. I'm trying. Anyways, he got kicked. Don't worry. Yeah. So I got to figure out how to put all the documents online. And it's all just the court records. So it's literally public record. Yeah, this guy's like a piece of shit. He thought he was going to make my life hell. And he did for a bit. It was stressful. But it's, I don't know. I guess it's over. Hopefully it's over. But I'm not going to let him. I did say it right. Yes. I'm not going to let him do this to other people. And that's why I want to talk about it. It's because I don't want this to continue happening to people since we're in this new age of social media. And as far as everybody knows, I am the first person that was sued over a Facebook comment. There was someone that got sued over a Facebook video. Maybe try locals. What is locals? Try locals. I don't know what that means, Goosebump. Yeah, Dearman, it was. We actually didn't know if the case would even go through. But I also live in a very small county. So the judge kind of, I don't know, I think he has to have, I guess, the chance. With the surety cost thing, it has to do with the strength of his case on its face, and then the fact that he lives out of state and bragged. He kept telling my attorney he was uncollectible, so he didn't have money. So we had filed filed the motion for the surety of cost, and that is the only hearing. So sorry, ADHD. The judge ordered him to pay $5,000 surety bond, which he'd have to file with the court. And he did not like that, and he didn't pay it. That's why the case was dismissed. Yeah. Unfortunately, Thumper's mom's federal government is slow as hell. So that's how we shut down the case, was that surety of cost, which I would have known about that if I didn't hire one of the best fucking attorneys on the planet. She's my friend, so I'm going to say that. She's really great. I've literally been on the stand being cross-examined by her, and she made me sweat bullets. So I've testified for her, and I've testified against her. She's scary, man. I love her, though. She's a bulldog. So, yeah, nobody has heard of this. I even said to my attorney, I was like, you are not going to believe this. This is so fucking weird. I've never heard of anything. And she was even like, oh, Locals is a platform? Oh. Huh. Okay, I'm going to have to check out that Locals thing. Wait. Ironton Auditor's here? Oh my gosh. Hi, Ironton Auditor. Yay. Dude, I really thought you got arrested the other night. Fucking Sovereign made me think you got arrested. I was so mad. I was like, what the fuck? And my husband's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, Ironton Auditor got arrested. I'm like, oh, motherfuckers playing games. So, if you're filing here, you can't go pro per. Yeah, the 4 to 6 a month. I believe that. So in Michigan, it's $250 or something to file a lawsuit, and you don't have to have an attorney. The big issue, though, is he is an attorney licensed in California, but not Nevada where he lives, and definitely not in Michigan where he came and sued me. So, but yeah, I don't want this to happen to other people. I don't want him to continue doing this to other people because he bragged about how it was going to cost me money, and it did. I want to say total, it's $18,000 I'm in for. And we are not rich by any stretch of the word. I am 100% disabled, so I collect disability every month, which is not enough. If it weren't for my husband, I would be homeless. I definitely couldn't afford my medical care. So we had to pay the $5,000 retainer fee for my first attorney. Then we had to pay the retainer for the appellate attorney. And then it's charged per hour. So little man syndrome. Yes. I believe he's about 5'3". I might be wrong. That might have been a joke, but he does seem to be of a smaller stature. I've seen pictures of him standing next to people, and I do believe he's on the short side. Not that that's a problem, just saying. I dated a guy that was 5'5", okay, and I'm 6 foot tall, so height is not a thing. But yeah, I don't want him to do this to other people, first off, and I don't want this to become a thing where this is happening to other people because they made a comment using their rights to free speech on the internet. Like, you know, we have he who shall not be named, and this guy saying, oh, they're trying to impinge my First Amendment right. Yeah, that's what they're doing to us. They're trying to get us to not be able to talk about stuff. Like, it's so dumb. So, yeah, come on. I will get this StreamYard thing figured out eventually. So anyways, like, that is the shortened-ish version of what happened. It's literally been a year of hell, of waiting, and him not filing things properly, not filing things to the format they even need to be filed. He didn't do this right. And like I was trying to say, the order for the surety, whatever, the order for the bond, he complained that this is what his appeal was based on. Yes, Jeremy, you're right. The laws do need to change, and you have to have cases that set precedents in order to get laws changed. So that's what this is. His reason for appealing is he said he never got to argue his case, and the judge judged his case without him being able to argue. First of all, he never filed or asked for a hearing. So yeah, he didn't get to argue his case because he never scheduled a hearing for any of it. We had one hearing, and it was on our 2 motions that we filed. And we had a hearing. You know, but in Michigan is the strength of the case on its face, the ability to pay, and also if they're in or out of state. And the judge said, yeah, no, 2 pieces of your evidence literally prove what she said was not false. But he takes like a little second sentence, part of a sentence, and uses that, but it's not like he takes things out of context. Yes, I know it's Friday. It's nice. I'm excited about it being Friday. So, really? That is my service dog. I don't know why it's barking. Fritz, stop. It's probably the neighbor coming home. Fritz, post. Fritz, yeah. Sorry, oh, it is the neighbors. Sorry, my dog knows Polish. Anyways, yeah, it's insane. I don't want this to be happening to other people. Can we afford it? Really? Mr. C is home. That's why they're going nuts. Yeah. I don't know. It's done for the most part. And yeah, no, the dogs do not want to snack. Their dad just walked through the door. Yeah, so now that we have... Well, thank you, Ironton Auditor. I will definitely go and watch your live in a little bit. That'll be exciting. Don't get arrested, please. Or at least Sovereign better not pretend you got arrested, because that was not cool. Anyways, so now we have precedence with the case. Now I got to talk about it. Got to get the word out there so other people know that this has happened. And it's, I don't know. So, nice. The whole QAnon. I don't understand those people. I don't understand conspiracy theorists. Although I do believe in some conspiracies. Yeah. I wish that it had just been a threat to sue. Or being doxxed, yeah, would have sucked. But, sorry, my medication gives me cotton mouth. I didn't tell you guys how I found out I was being sued. So, our Nevada judges was live streaming one of his hearings, actually, against the people in Nevada for saying he threatened to shoot up his kid's school. He does need to be stopped, Bruja. A lot of hurt parents. Yeah, okay, so Bruja is he needs to be stopped because he is leading a lot of hurt parents in the family court system astray. Absolutely. Dear man, for as far as news outlets go, I don't know. I know there was a news person in Reno, Nevada that was interested, and he has all of the documents. But I'm not sure if I think he's covering more of the fact that the ACLU of Nevada is suing him for literally abusing the court system, is my understanding. And he is, and that's part of it, is he's abusing the system. And I don't know, he needs to be stopped. It is all for his own agenda, which is proving that there is a family court conspiracy that doesn't exist. I don't know. So anyways, it was a live stream of one of the hearings for his lawsuit against Mark DeCiero and Dave Schoen, which is people in the Nevada Court Watchers group. And I was in the live chat, and someone kept saying, Jess, do you have an attorney? Jess, do you have a lawyer? And they'd ask it, they'd remove the comment, and they'd ask it again. And I was ignoring them, so I'm like, go the fuck away, man. Yeah, he is fucking with parents, getting restraining orders and shit. Someone asked, why are they asking you this? And I was like, I don't know. Like, I'm ignoring them. And literally they posted, because you're getting sued. That's how I found out about the lawsuit. And I went and looked, and it was not in Nevada. Then I looked for my county. Sure enough, there it was. I immediately went down to the courthouse and was like, can I see this? Like, what the hell? Because I didn't even know why I was being sued. Like, I was like, what the fuck? He's suing me? And it was, he was mad that I said that he had threatened to shoot up his kid's school. Yeah, I need to read these. So, see, dear man, it doesn't work like that. Like, suing him for costs. In Michigan, you have to file a countersuit when you file your answer to the original suit. So it has to be done within that time frame. So I can't now go after him again. I never wanted to. I didn't want to go after him. I just want to be left alone. That is it. Like, just leave me the fuck alone. I don't have anything to do with you. You came into my life. You can yeet yourself the fuck back out. And obviously that didn't happen. But then what was I going to countersue him for? For harassing me? Because he made posts about me on Facebook? Did it upset me? Yes. Did it cause me to have to go on anxiety medication? Yes. Was I being mocked? Yes. The worst part was what I'm paying for attorneys now. And we had actually asked for costs, but because it didn't go to a hearing, I guess it wasn't given. But what am I going to sue him for? He doesn't have anything. He had just filed an appeal, I guess, with the U.S. Supreme Court. I think it's fighting. I'm not sure. I have not been reading too in depth. I really don't pay attention. I find out because people will they will message me or email me like, oh, he said this. And I'm like, what the fuck, dude? But he filed the Supreme Court, but because he's asking, dude, I wish I could move to Ireland. I seriously wish I could. Mr. C won't let me. He sucks. He won't let me move anywhere. I even tried to move back to my own home state, and he said no. The jerk. Anyways, no, I know. I love him. Yeah, okay, so in this filing, I don't know how stuff in the Supreme Court goes, but he said he had the money, the $300 to file the motion, but then he didn't have the money to print off so many booklets. I'm not sure what that means. I'm thinking he has to like print and bind so many copies of his lawsuit, I think. But he had to do like a financial disclosure form. On his form, he says he only gets about $1,000 a month. and he has to pay $200 for child support. His food costs this much. I don't think he had anything for housing. But at the end of the day, he says he only has $5 left over at the end of the month after his basic needs. So what am I going to do? I would have to literally pay to go and garnish any sort of thing that he has. Like, I would have to pay an attorney to, like, if he owned a house, go after his house, like, go after his assets. It's not worth it. I just don't want him in my life. And he has interjected himself into my life. And I said it before, he picked the wrong bitch to fuck with. Because you're going to mess with me like you're literally coming after my livelihood and my life now? Fuck you, motherfucker. My husband hates when I say this, but it's on. You know, I think he thought I was weak. And I think he thought that I would have been a soft target, but I'm not. That is something that people underestimate about me. Like, I might have health issues. I might be overweight. I might have fucked up teeth, all this other stuff. But I got my brains. And I have my, what's the word? Gumption, I guess. So anyways, I'm going to get off of here. Dearman said we have to move to Ireland, babe.
Oh, okay.
We do. We have to move there. It's beautiful there. They're having another storm. I want to go. Anyways, I'm going to get off. Yeah, and Bruja has my back. I know. She's awesome. She's actually turned out to be a really good friend, and I love it. That is the one thing. I have made some nice friends. I've, really gotten to know some really great people because of all of this. But yeah, I don't know. We got to go get dinner. I'm hungry. I haven't eaten anything today yet, so I need to eat. Thank you guys, everyone that came and watched. Share this video, please, so that people can hear about it. Like, because that's the only way this is going to stop, is if people know about it. Like, we have a case that was thrown out, and it's because of this. So that's the first step, is getting it out there and making people aware so that we can change the laws. And I guess that's my whole thing. All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you again, Peggy Harkness, for the super chat and for the membership. I greatly appreciate it. I will let everyone know where I figure out to put these documents up. And I will see everyone later. Well, thank you for running into my channel. I actually, real quick, I'm working on 3 defendants on a murder case here in Michigan. I'm working on editing that. That's a lot. It's going to take a lot to get to not have that demonetized. So I do have more videos coming. Anyways, everyone have a great weekend and be safe, okay? We'll see you later.